If you've ever been stoked about the start of the Winter Olympics, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. And also, what's your favorite Winter Olympic event? I'd like to know. I think mine's probably hockey or biathlon. But anyway, I'd like to hear from you folks. Welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. We made it to Hump Day. We are at the middle of the week here. Hump Day, the middle, the turn, whatever you call it. Hopefully it goes well for you here today. We do have more earnings here this morning. We had Lilly report this morning. We obviously had AMD yesterday. We're going to cover all of that. Here's a look at the calendar. It doesn't stop today because tonight we've got Google, Qualcomm, got a couple of big reports here coming. And then obviously Amazon tomorrow. So we are not out of the woods yet. Good to see everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Wednesday edition for February 4th, 2026, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. It is great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here. I hope you're ready for Wednesday because we are going to have another great session here today. I see a lot of positivity in the chat, and you know I am here for that. We're going to multiply that here. Force multipliers here this morning. Marty is first here today. Hi, y'all. Say it with some soul, Marty. After a day or two fast, a simple spoon of peanut butter tastes so good. True that. Peanut butter is incredible. I don't know if there's ever a bad time for it. Pro tip, the Costco organic peanut butter is one of the best, and it's just very, very generic. I absolutely love peanut butter, Marty. Welcome to the club. Also, good morning. Good to see you again. Peter is also here. Looking forward to Tim. You're in luck. Tim's coming here today. We should have some more good stuff from him this morning. Peter, it's good to see you again. Hope you're well. Robert, good morning. Yeah, so fine. Good morning. Brett, good morning. Sipping my Italian espresso. Brett, do you have a pinky up? Let me know. Hopefully that espresso is getting you ready to roll here. Richard Judge, good morning. Like. Indeed. Where are we at, producer? Did we get to 50 before we started? You guys will have to let me know. Definitely want to pump those up here. So I appreciate all of you that do that. Crimp Biscuit, good morning. Welcome back. Big Dave, good morning. Welcome back. Brian, it's good to see you as always. Welcome back. Azrar, good morning. Welcome back. Brent, good morning. Took a few days off. Welcome back. Brent, are you fresh and rested and ready to rip? Sometimes days off, honestly, just taking a break from the everyday can be really, really helpful for like a mental reset. So good to have you back. Buffalo by Bicycle, good morning. Yes, that girl, good morning. Matthew, good morning. Lion, good morning. Lion says, I'm driving on the highway. I can check news. I think you meant you can't check news. Lion, please focus on the road. Hands at 10 and 2. I love that Zach also said, look at the road because you might find some gold, which is just absolutely awesome. So just be safe, Lion. We'll take care of the news here and we'll let you know everything that's going on. We will definitely give you an update here. No worries about that. Zach, good morning. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Jim, good morning. Welcome back. It's another feed day. Okay, we'll take a look at feed. I actually haven't even looked at the movers yet. I hope 13 is diligently taking notes because I had some other stuff to handle here this morning. But we'll see how it goes. AMD had good numbers and took a dive because the avocados in Ecuador were too small this year. I'm not sure that's accurate, but it's hilarious. AMD did take a dive despite beating. Is there a pullback? Is there a larger pullback coming in some of the AI stuff? I'd like to get that opinion from you. Producer, you're the real MVP, man. We appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. Marionetta, good morning. Marionetta's buffering here this morning, folks. That's no good. I know it's not us. Our connection looks good. Marionetta, hope we get that straightened out for you. Good to see you. Nancy, good morning. Welcome back. Carlos, good morning. Welcome back. Ed says, it's a trap. It's a trap. Good morning. Welcome back. We'll see if this is actually a pump. Really, we've just been range bound in the SPY, but we'll cover that when we break down the chart. James, what's good? the show now that you're here, buddy. Welcome. Good morning. It's good to see you again. Castle, good morning. Welcome back. Tyler, good morning. Welcome back. Mariana says, Ryan, how can I get in touch with me directly? As always, and I say this to all of you folks, you can always email me here at my work email address. I'll go ahead and throw that in the chat. So yeah, reach out anytime. I'll do my best that I can to help you. Okay, did I just lose my spot? That is no good. All right, there we go. I got it back. Kenneth, good morning. Welcome. Good morning and welcome back. Easy for me to say, for heaven's sakes. Edro, good morning. Day Trader, good morning. Cam, good morning. Peter says bobsled is my favorite. Okay. Bobsled is fun. I've never actually been bobsledding, and I don't even know like where you would go to do that. I don't know how these people practice some of these sports and all of that. And I think that the two American ladies that are a bobsled team are actually expected to do well this year. So that should be exciting, Peter. We'll check back in on bobsled. JJ, good morning. Welcome back. Brian, good morning. Lily crushed earnings. Are you surprised? Lily's been best in breed for that for a while. Brian, let me know if you have any trades here on Lily today. Kenzo, good morning. Welcome back. Creation, good morning. Welcome back. Bernhard, it's good to see you as always. Durkis, likewise. Amosar, excuse me, good morning. James likes women's figure skating. Yep, so do I. So does everybody probably. Bob, good morning. Welcome back. No kings, Bob. LOL. Just passing through. Good morning. Welcome back. Suprik, good morning. Welcome back. Cam, good morning. Welcome back. I think I got everybody. NC, maybe we pump today? Maybe. The pullback yesterday to 685 and then the bounce, maybe that does set up for a little bit of a pump today. We'll see how that goes. Okay. And then one stop. All sprints. I think that's the event that you're talking about. Nonetheless, good morning. Welcome back, folks. Let's get started with our stock market today. Futures are mixed ahead of Wednesday's open here, but all of them are near unchanged. S&P futures up 0.09% ahead of Wednesday's open. Dow futures actually leading the way higher, plus 0.18%. And the NASDAQ actually dragging here today, minus 0.23%. Let's take a look at some cues from last session. Information technology, communications services, healthcare stocks led losses on Tuesday as most S&P sectors declined, though materials and energy shares managed to finish higher. Energy, obviously a big theme for us here in 2026, and so far, so good on that. President Trump signed a funding deal to end the 4-day partial government shutdown, though the brief closure has already triggered delays for critical economic indicators. If the last shutdown was any indication, this is NBD. No big deal. We should be able to make it through that. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.27%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.58%. The CME Group's Fed Watch Tool projections show the market pricing in a 91.1% chance that the Federal Reserve holds interest rates steady at the next meeting in March. This has slowly crept up since we got our first reading from the last meeting. We have several stocks in focus here for you today, and the first one is going to be AMD, perhaps the biggest report of the evening last night. AMD plunged 7.63% in the pre-market on Wednesday, despite reporting better than expected fourth quarter financial results. And really quickly, those fourth quarter results, Advanced Micro Devices Q4 adjusted EPS of 153 beat the 132 estimate, and sales of 10.27 billion beat the 9.66 billion estimate. So a nice beat across the board there. Advanced Micro Devices see Q1 sales at 9.5 to 10.1 billion. That's versus the 9.3 billion estimate. So even a guide higher there. I suspect what's going on here is that because it's the AI theme and we've seen other eye-popping numbers when it comes to AI reports, this just simply wasn't enough to instill enough confidence to take the next leg higher. So despite a beat, despite a guidance raise, look like they're executing here. I suspect the street wanted a little bit more and didn't get it. And that's why you're seeing it pull back here today. We'll continue to check in on AMD here today. The next stock on our list is going to be Super Micro Computer. The ticker here is SMCI. The shares jumped 12.27% after its fourth quarter earnings report, which beat estimates on the top and bottom lines. It expected third quarter revenue EPS of 60 cents, it saw third quarter adjusted EPS of 60 cents versus the 53-cent estimate, and revenue of 12.3 billion versus the 10.15 billion estimate. Also, SMCI has been one of those stocks that we've kind of talked about quite a bit here. I know that the accounting stuff has really kind of scared people away. It does look like maybe they're putting some things together here. And if you take a look at the Benzinga rankings, 92nd percentile in growth, 78th percentile in value, and 98th percentile in quality, with an intact short-term trend and and we're not in a medium or long-term trend. So maybe SMCI has a little bit room to run here. I'd be curious on how you folks think about this, especially after what happened before with the accounting issues that it had. The next stock on our list here is going to be Alphabet. The ticker is GOOG or GOOGL, depending on which one you like to trade. Shares rose 0.55% ahead of its earnings scheduled to be released after the closing bell here today. Analysts are expecting earnings of $2.63 per share on revenue of $111.31 billion. That also scores very well on the momentum and quality score, by the way. The next stock on our list is going to be Enphase Energy. So it comes from the solar sector here. The ticker is ENPH, and that surged 23.39% after the company released its fourth quarter earnings report, which beat estimates on the top and bottom line. For completeness here, Enphase Q4 adjusted EPS of 71 cents beat the 58-cent estimate. Sales of 343.32 million beat the 340.59 million estimate. And Enphase sees Q1 sales of 270 to 300 million. That was versus the 262 million estimate. So a really good report there for Enphase, plus 20% here in the pre-market. Giddy up if you were in that. Solar might also have some more room to move here. Again, that fits into our energy theme for 2026. The last stock on our list is going to be Eli Lilly. The ticker here is LLY, and it was 0.046% lower ahead of its earnings prior to them getting released this morning. Analysts were expecting $6.93 per share on revenue of $17.93 billion. And as the chat has already alluded, Eli Lilly, smoked those numbers. Eli Lilly Q4 adjusted EPS 754 beat the 667 estimate, and sales of $19.3 billion beat the estimate of $17.9 billion. Eli Lilly sees full year 26 adjusted EPS of $33.50 to $35. That was versus the 33.23 estimate, so that was above the range. It also sees sales of 80 to 83 million. 80 to 83 billion. I beg your pardon. That was versus the 77.62 billion estimate. All right, let's take a look at that SPY chart here. I still don't have this candle corrected, so it just makes it kind of a pain. But nonetheless, this is where we are here today. And I'll be honest with you, not a lot has changed. I feel like every day we're looking at very similar numbers, if not the exact same key levels as we kind of chop around up here today. We're currently sitting at 690.41. We'll see where we end up going here today. I've got 691.08 as the 20-day moving average. That definitely we want to recapture if we want to see higher prices. Obviously, it does kind of feel to me like the SPY has a 700 magnet effect going on right now. We continue to kind of grind up here. We really don't have enough juice to punch through this resistance level and then continue our run higher. Maybe we do get that. We'll see what the catalyst is for that. But so far, it looks like we're just kind of chopping around here. I know there are a lot of folks that are really thinking that we're pretty much due for a pullback. I know that the seasonality trends generally show February as being a weak month where this bottoms out in March. We'll see if seasonality ends up holding true for this year. But where we're at right now, key levels here. First one, definitely going to be that 20-day moving average. A close above that sets up for perhaps another test of the trend line to the upside. If we stay beneath the 20-day moving average, we likely have the 50-day next. That's going to be at 685 3/4. Maybe we'll Maybe we'll kind of peek through that. The 100-day moving average is down there at 677.42. And I'll be honest, without some big catalyst, I'm not sure that we see that here. The last time we tested that value or that moving average, we bounced pretty nicely from it. So I'd be looking at those for key levels here. And I also want to pay attention to what the volume is for the SPY. Yesterday, we traded over 100 million shares for the first time in a while. The RSI here in no man's land. So I think you're pretty much just guessing at this point. If you're going to trade intraday, I would just maybe use some of those technical levels. If we take a look here at the SPY, let me reset this a little bit. If we take a look here at the SPY, I think if we move down, you can probably take a look at this 684 level, maybe trade it against that if we're able to hold yesterday's intraday lows. So just some ideas there on the SPY. We'll see exactly how this pans out here today. Now, let's take a look at some insights from analysts here. Jeremy Siegel maintains a constructive outlook on the economy and the stock market, driven by diminished political uncertainties and the nomination of Kevin Warsh for the Federal Reserve chair. Siegel views Warsh as a decisive upgrade to Powell, believing his leadership will be a net positive for both bonds and equities. Regarding the economy, Siegel notes that while fourth quarter GDP estimates have moderated to the high threes or low fours, growth remains solid despite noise. He is not alarmed by recent tariff-related inflation, suggesting such effects are not macro-defining. He advocates for another 25 to 50 basis points in rate cuts to support small business, citing sluggish M2 money supply growth. In the equity market, Siegel observes a sharp rotation and a shift in the AI narrative. He predicts this will be the year of the AI user, not the AI producer. Interesting. We'll probably revisit that. Where returns accrue to firms that deploy AI to boost productivity rather than those merely selling the picks and shovels. We'll have to ask Tim Melvin about that. Tim Melvin seems to think that we're going to be in phase 2 of the AI here. He seems to be aligned with Jeremy Siegel. Overall, he remains optimistic about the medium-term outlook as major leadership and fiscal risks subside. For economic data here today, we have Fed Governor Lisa Cook will speak at 6:30 p.m. and the January ADP employment data will be released at 8:15. Actually, it looks like that's out right now. Let's go back and see here real quick. ADP Jan private jobs expected of plus 45,000. So perhaps we actually don't have that print yet. We will check in on that. But okay, let's talk really quickly about AMD. And you know what? Maybe we should actually start with the chart here on AMD. Let's do that. Let's start with the chart. Then we'll dive into some of the news. Here is what it's looking like. We are down 9.5% here. And you can see exactly where this is going. Very, very clear on the daily chart. The pullback here today, post earnings, has us giving up the 20, giving up the 50, and it looks like we are trying to use the 100-day as support. Now, the last time that we were down here was the middle of January. We bounced hard off of this level, so that might be something to watch here. We'll see if this gets we'll see if the selling pressure at some point here today alleviates. And if so, perhaps this is going to set up for another bounce from that 100-day. The last time that we did come down here and test this, we did peak below it before reclaiming it the next day. So maybe we don't get that bounce confirmation today. That might be something for tomorrow. But just keep in mind where we're at. It's also worth noting that the trend line that has really been supporting us since Liberation Day is right beneath that 100-day moving average. So if we test that, if we peak beneath it, if we give it up even, next would be that trend line there. We could even peak beneath that. Now, let's take a look at the earnings themselves. AMD reported financial results for the fourth quarter and reported revenue of $10.27 billion, which beat the analyst estimates of $9.67 billion. The chipmaker reported adjusted earnings of $1.53 per share for the fourth quarter, which beat the estimates of $1.32 per share per Benzinga Pro. Total revenue in the quarter increased 34% on a year-over-year basis, and the breakdown is as follows. Data center was $5.4 billion. That's up 39% year-over-year. Client and gaming, $3.9 billion. That was up 37% year-over-year. And embedded was $950 million. That was up 3% year-over-year. AMD reported $1.8 billion for fourth quarter operating income and ended the period with approximately $5.54 billion in cash and cash equivalents. Quote, 2025 was a defining year for AMD with record revenue and earnings driven by strong execution and broad-based demand for our high performance and AI systems. That quote came from Lisa Su, chair and CEO of AMD. She goes on to say, we're entering 2026 with strong momentum across our business, led by accelerating adoption of our high-performance EPYC and Ryzen CPUs and the rapid scaling of our data center AI franchise. AMD expects first quarter revenue of approximately $9.8 billion plus or minus $300 million, including approximately $100 million of AMD Instinct MI308 sales to China. Analysts are currently expecting first quarter revenue of approximately $9.39 billion. Now, I just wanted, in the conference call here, there's a little bit more stuff about AMD here, including their China outlook and those MI308 chips that we just talked about. Lisa Su said the chip maker is limiting its China revenue to $100 million in the first quarter as U.S. export licensing for advanced AI chips remains uncertain. During the company's fourth quarter earnings call, AMD said it's not assuming any additional revenue from China beyond the $100 million it expects to generate in the first quarter, citing ongoing uncertainty around U.S. export licenses for its advanced AI chips. Su said recent China-related sales were tied to previously approved license and should not be viewed as a signal of broader near-term momentum in the region. Quote, we were pleased to have some MI308 sales in the fourth quarter. Those orders were actually from very early in 2025, end quote, and they were approved through the licensing process at the time. Su further stated that AMD recorded some MI308 accelerator revenue in the fourth quarter and is forecasting $100 million in China-related sales for the first quarter. Beyond that, the company is not building any incremental China revenue into its outlook. Perhaps this is why the numbers weren't as high, and perhaps this is why you're seeing a red number in the percent change here today. Quote, we are not forecasting any additional revenue from China just because it's a very dynamic situation. So given that it's a dynamic situation, we're still waiting for what we've submitted licenses for the MI325, end quote. U.S. export controls on advanced AI chips have tightened in recent years, forcing semiconductor companies to carefully manage product roadmaps and regional revenue expectations. AMD posted fourth quarter revenue of $10.27 billion, which topped the estimate of $9.67, and adjusted earnings were $153 versus the $132 estimate. As you can see here, we're going to keep covering some of these proprietary rankings here. Momentum, 92nd percentile here in the momentum score, 86th percentile for the quality score. AMD might still have some more room to catch up. Now, another stock that reported earnings. Do we have the new Blander here today? Because I got a bone to pick with that gentleman. He clearly has not been doing enough work to keep Chipotle elevated here. Chipotle down 6.82% on the back of its earnings. And here's a look at the chart. We did a really good job coming off of the bottom at 30. We had that nasty gap down in the last earnings. We really tested the 30 level several times. There he is. There he is. Yo, the noob. I hope you don't have plans today because you're going to Chipotle for lunch and dinner because the stock clearly needs your help. And I'll tell you what, I may join you. I don't have dinner plans for tomorrow, so I may get Chipotle with you as well. All jokes aside here, this was a really good move off of 30. We did a great job of recapturing some of those moving averages, and we never quite tested the 200. Now we've reported some of these earnings, and we're trading back down. Price here is 36.50, so we actually gave up the 100 and gave up the 50. And as far as key levels go, I would want a recapture of that very, very soon. If not today, by the end of the week, tomorrow or Friday, maybe then we can try and curl back up here on Chipotle. Really quickly, just to kind of give some of the numbers here. I didn't have it in my note sheet. I'm sorry about that. Chipotle Mexican Grill adjusted EPS of 25 cents. That beat the 24-cent estimate, beat by a penny. Sales of $2.984 billion beat the estimate of $2.963 billion. So boy, oh boy, that was really, really close there. And then looking here this morning, TD Cowen reiterates buy, $44 price target. BTIG reiterates buy, $45 price target. Stevens & Company reiterates equal weight and maintains their $35 price target. It's basically where the stock's at right now, which is interesting. Kelsey Advisory maintains outperform, lowers the price target to 48. Stiefel maintaining a buy, lowering the price target to 45. So let's see how Chipotle trades here. Have we seen the lows already? Do we think that this trades down out of the open? We shall see. Now, taking a look here, Chipotle reported revenue of the $2.98 billion. I just shared all that with you. Total revenue increased 4.9% year over year, while comparable restaurant sales decreased 2.5. Decreased 2.5 year over year due to lower transactions of 3.2%. Partially offset by a 0.7% increase in the average check. I know that my chicken burrito still under $10. This is still the deal for dinner. Under $10 fills you up. Not crappy ingredients. Maybe it's just falling out of favor. Chipotle said revenue growth was driven by new restaurant openings and gift card breakage revenue of $27 million. That was up $19.1 million year over year. The company opened 132 new restaurants in the quarter, and 97 of those locations included a Chipotlane. Does anyone use the Chipotlane? Digital sales represented 37.2% of food and beverage revenue. Restaurant level operating margin was 23.4% in the fourth quarter. Quote, against a dynamic consumer backdrop, we've opened a record number of restaurants globally and grew Q4 and full year revenue. End quote. That came from Scott Boatwright, CEO of Chipotle. He goes on to say the momentum will fuel our next phase of growth, driven by our recipe for growth strategy, which leans into what uniquely differentiates our brand to accelerate transactions and expand our footprint globally. Cool story, bro. I wish you had a little bit more details on that. Personally, Chipotle said it repurchased $741.6 million of its stock in the quarter and had $1.7 billion remaining on the buyback as of December 31st. Chipotle expects full year 2026 comparable restaurant sales to be about flat. The company expects The company expects to open between 350 and 370 new restaurants in 2026, with around 80%, including a Chipotlane. So it looks like they're going to try and, increase revenue or increase margins, be able to service customers faster by having the Chipotlane. I've never used one. If you have, I'd like to know what your experience is there. And I guess perhaps more importantly, do you think that this helps? And as far as the new restaurants go, I mean, Chipotle really kind of seems like it's like Subway and McDonald's at this point. I feel like there's one, maybe not on every corner, but every place I go, whether it's rural Illinois or rural Wisconsin or rural Michigan, there's Chipotles everywhere. One more update here. This is on Boeing. This is one of the stocks I really did like for 2026. I'm going to keep updating you on this. Boeing to deliver an upgraded 787 Dreamliner in the first half of 2026 with improved range and cargo capacity. The aircraft manufacturer says it expects to deliver the 787-9 and 787-10 Dreamliner units with improved takeoff weights, adding over 400 miles of distance to the range or 5 to 6 tons of additional cargo capacity. Reuters reported on Tuesday, citing the company executive shared that the wide-body aircraft were already moving through towards certification. The news comes as Singapore Airlines signed a deal with RTX, Collins Aerospace, which would provide its Flight Sense service, which is a maintenance program. The deal would cover the airline's 27 Boeing 777 fleet with 5 new 777F aircraft. Meanwhile, Air Cambodia placed its largest ever single-aisle aircraft order with Boeing in a deal that would see the airplane produce over 20 737 MAX aircraft. The airline had earlier signed an agreement to add over 10 737-8 jets with the option of adding 10 additional aircraft to that order. The airplane maker recently reported a mixed earnings report with 160 aircraft deliveries in the fourth quarter of 2025. Boeing's revenue of $23.948 billion also exceeded the $22.47 billion analyst estimate. However, an adjusted loss of $191 per share missed market expectations, with analysts estimating a loss of 39% per share for the Airbus SE rival. That ticker, by the way, it's OTC EADSY. For Airbus there. Worth noting here, Boeing in a 69.95% percentile for momentum. I'd like to see that keep trading up here. Maybe we can finally make a run at 300. Okay, let's see. You know what? We're going to go to Tim here. Tim's ready to go. I know this is one of the favorite guests. Peter, I know you've been waiting for this for a while here. Let's go ahead and bring on Tim Melvin. Let's see what he's got for us today. Tim, good morning. Happy Wednesday. How you doing?
Ryan, how are you, buddy? It's good to see everybody this morning. Hope we're all locked in and loaded and ready for another big, fun day in the markets. If only we had a Fed day to get excited about today, right?
Boy, we had that last week, and it wasn't all that exciting. Yeah, here, Tim, before we get started here, I got to ask you.
Sure.
I'd asked the group earlier, who's stoked for the Winter Olympics? What is your favorite event in the Winter Olympics? I know they don't play baseball, so I'm just
that's a tough one. I mean, I love the skiing. That's always just been an absolute ball to watch. All of it's kind of cool to watch just because we don't usually see these sports.
I agree. In fact, I was just saying the same thing about bobsled. And really quickly with skiing, let me just give a shout out to Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah, I was right there with you, man. Come on,
she tore her ACL, had to be airlifted out of the mountain that she was 41. Practicing on. She's 41. And you know what she told the media? F it, I'm going to compete. Yep. That is straight toughness and heart. Lindsey Vonn, we are rooting for you without a doubt. Unbelievable stuff.
And whoever says ski jumping, yes, I love the ski jumping. Eddie the Eagle, which if you weren't around for that, Eddie the Eagle was a British ski jumper who sucked. He was awful. Okay. He was so awful. He became ridiculously famous. And this was back in either the 80s. But watching that guy was just ridiculous because he had no business being up there. But you get to send your athletes, right? You send your best in your country. And he was the only, so he was the best ski jumper in Britain. And you got to go back. I'm sure videos on YouTube. It's spectacular to watch.
Okay, well, I'm excited for another round of events here. Tim, before that starts, what do we got here today? We don't have this Fed meeting that you're excited for.
No, I don't. You know, the Fed meeting I don't really care about. Obviously, there's a lot of studies and stuff that we haven't gone over, so I'm going to catch up on some today. Okay, and one of them feeds into what you were talking about right before we came on.
Perfect.
Notably earnings, right? Because earnings season is like, hell with it. I piss y'all off this morning. Earnings season is one of the biggest transfers of cash from retail investors to market makers.
Why is that, Tim? Tell us why that is.
Well, because look, you're trying to make a guess about a guess about a guess, right? You're trying to guess whether or not the analysts guess about the 3-month picture of the lifespan of a corporation was right or within a certain band, and then you're trying to guess the time frame in which you're going to be right if you throw options into it, right? So you're making triple layers of guesses, and every market maker I've ever talked to adjusts their volatility expectations for earnings seasons. Now, you know what happens when you adjust your volatility expectations? The prices change. Right? They know retail's going to go nuts trading options in earnings season. So they just look at the big names on this stuff and they pop the option prices above fair value.
Okay.
And if you're just trying to bet this, and look, most people lose money in earnings season. I'm not going to, argue with you about it because I've got the numbers.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Tim, at least from my own personal experience, when I first got into this and I watched earnings seasons, I was like, yeah, these are the moves that I want to play. If you get them right, a lot of money can be made very, very quickly. But as you just alluded to, it's a guess of a guess of a guess. And AMD really proves this, right? They reported well, they beat the number, they guided well, but the stock's down 7% here today. So I think this is just kind of going back to having a long-term plan really kind of reduces some of the noise of these earnings reports.
So the first one we're going to talk to today is a report that just came out by Michael Mabison, and I always butcher this poor guy's name, at Morgan Stanley. He is one of the best kind of commentators and strategists on the market out there. And he's got several books out that are fantastic, but reading Mabison reminds me of reading, James Joyce or Thomas Aquinas, right? It's really good stuff, but it's really hard to read because he writes in a very dense kind of academic style.
Stream of consciousness.
Yeah, well, this isn't even stream of consciousness. This is just, he just kind of is very dense writing. I mean, Joyce, yes, was stream of consciousness, but also very dense writing. But this report is called "Who's on the Other Side: A Framework for Understanding Market in parentheses efficiency." Ryan, I sent you links to all this. If you don't ask Ryan for any other paper, ask for this one. It says excess returns come from identifying why the counterparty is trading, not from being just smart in isolation. So remember, markets are pretty efficient. Easy alpha is not out there, but there are some inefficiencies. Earnings season is a really good example of that, right? Why is this stock being dumped? Who is selling? Is this retail selling that's panicking out of a trade? All too often in earnings season, that's what it is. And look, I take the other side of earnings season, right? If I see a company that I know to be a good quality with good credit get blown up over an earnings report, like CarMax a quarter ago, they blew that stock up. Although the company was profitable, it was just a lower profit than some, bottom of the class Harvard graduate thought they might earn for that particular quarter. So everybody dumped the stock. Well, I'm up like 60% in the stock in 3 months. And by the way, yes, that was in trade alerts in case you were wondering. The other side of that trade, it makes a lot of sense. And Madison goes on to say there's 4 sources of market inefficiency. Behavioral, right? We all know this one. This is fear and greed. We get too excited about the good stuff and we get too afraid of the bad stuff. We extrapolate stuff way too far out into the future. Okay. And sentiment swings that's the herd behavior. It's tough to get out of the herd. If you've been with the technology herd all the way up, it's tough to step out of the herd when they're continuing to run long after all the food is gone. And then Madison touches heavy on one that we see a lot of, narrative dominance, right? We're seeing that today. We've got more on that. That's going to be our next paper, is narrative dominance, right? And so all sorts of inefficiency are created around these things. Then there's analytical, superior valuation skill, better probabilistic thinking, and time arbitrage. Now, of course, all of us have that, and all of our children were the best looking ever born. But, think that one through a little bit as to who's on the other side of this, right? If the analyst was from Goldman Sachs, you maybe pay attention. If he works for the Shifting Sands of Vermont, maybe not so much. So then there's informational, if you've got better information, and then technical, and that doesn't mean TA, but this one's really important. This comes in at really big at the swings, right? Forced buying or selling from index flows, right? If you are seeing illiquid stocks get absolutely crushed, and this goes big for high yield bonds. When you see a sell-off and you see some of the names, the index is down, say 15, right? But some of the names are down 30 and 40. That is forced, uninformed selling, and that creates massive opportunities, just as forced uninformed buying can at market bottoms. Now, look, there is a checklist in this, okay, that you can go through to ask questions about the setups on longer term situations. This isn't for your day-to-day trading, okay? He talks about time arbitrage, but every thesis that you set up, who is on the other side? What mistakes are they making, and what closes the gap? Right,
okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, this actually looks like a really interesting paper. I linked all of the links that you had in there. I'm sorry they're not labeled very well, so you might want to just grab them. This is the one that has the Morgan Stanley web address in here for who's on the other side. So.
Yeah, and all the papers. Sorry, I did a lousy job of labeling them.
It's okay. You
should read them all. You should read them all anyway.
Yeah, I want to share it with the group. And I mean, this is a 97-page report, so I'm sure we're not going to be able to cover the whole thing. But if you want some light reading material, here it is.
No, but as I said, look, Mabuson's really, really good. He's made a lot of people a lot of money, and he gives you a better framework for thinking about the market. Now, let's step out of the prevailing narrative for a moment, shall we? Just as was suggested in the first paper, Nate Bullard, a former Bloomberg analyst and investment banker in the energy space, has his annual decarbonization paper. He writes them every year. The link is in there to the main page that's got not just this year's, but links to like a decade's worth.
And these also, this link also looks like these are the presentations.
Yeah, these are the presentations, right?
So these are actual, I think these are slides, right? Yeah, this looks like this is a slideshow with all of this on here, which is pretty cool.
And look, this guy's smart, all right, and he's been around a while and he knows the space, so he's stepping outside, right? Because what he comes up with in this paper, as you go through it, the narrative is that solar energy is stupid. It's just ridiculous. It's it's no good. We shouldn't use it. Nobody's going to build it. We're moving away from it. It's not true. Over 90% of all new generation capacity in the United States last year was, in fact, renewable energy, solar, wind, with solar being massively dominant. Okay. You've got a lot going on out there in the world. As we talk about, you've got AI, you've got the electrification of energy services.
We have data centers in space that are going to rely almost solely on solar energy as well.
Get back to me in a decade, pal.
I'm just saying that's out there in the news cycle.
Look, just because it's a news cycle doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay. And I wish Elon all the best. That is a massive undertaking. That's like a colony on Mars level, not easy to do. So, we'll see how that plays out for him. Because you do some really cool stuff in space with a data center, with solar. So you've got just all of these other technologies, and the fact that solar gets better every year, and it gets a little cheaper every year. So while capital's been
I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but you're talking about solar getting cheaper there. Any worry about the move that we've seen in silver, which is often used in some of these solar panels?
A little bit, but it's not that big a percentage of the cost, as I understand it. But it is it is a concern. But the core cost, the silicone itself, keeps just dropping. So I think we might be all right on that one.
Okay.
But I mean, we'll see. But if you go back and you look at the cost decrease in solar panels over the last decade, it's been pretty dramatic. Now,
yeah, it sure has.
Now, we don't have the time or the space in here, but he does, and he walks you through kind of the fact that decarbonization is a little bit fragile politically. But that solar, it wins on cost, period. Cheap photons do create stress, right? Not universal profits. The marginal producers here of panels are going to go out, which in my mind really favors like First Solar.
Okay.
And then backing this paper up, we got one from, and who did we get this one from? This is from Man Group. And they're just saying, look, renewables win on economics. There were lots of solar fields developed in the United States last year. There were lots of new wind fields that came online. There were no new gas or nuclear plants that came online last year. Now I know it's being built. Solar's way ahead, and this goes in China, this goes in India, this goes pretty much everywhere. All right. We're building far more of the renewables. You do need natural gas backups. And I did not suddenly become bullish on natural gas. I'm still as bullish as I ever was. However, when you look at solar, it's been so out of favor for so long. And yet the evidence shows pretty clearly that clean energy is still very much in demand. It's not going away.
No, and in fact, it's growing.
Right. It is growing.
As you were outlining. So,
and here in the United States, it's growing in what is one of the most negative backdrops for renewable energy that we could have all possibly imagined. Because everybody in the Department of Energy, everybody in the administration hates renewable energy almost as much as the guy beforehand loved the concept of anything renewable without actually paying attention to the economics of it. So the narrative has shifted a little bit, but the actual performance of the industry hasn't. So these two papers I sent along, I think they're important because this is an area that, we're always, what's the next big thing? This might be it.
Okay. All those papers in the chat for anyone that wants to read into them a little bit more. And I don't know if you had any impact on this, but EMPH ticked up to the highs here in the pre-market. And as we were talking about it.
That was all me, guys. All me. I didn't know. All right. Now, there's another great paper out there. And this one is, and this again, it's in there. It shows that the horizon is called exploiting myopia, the returns to long-term investing, that an awful lot of the stocks held by long-term investors earn persistently higher future returns because, again, exploiting the short-term incentives force many institutions to avoid or sell certain stocks, creating systemic mispricing. Again, earnings season, right? There's a lot of companies out there that can't own stocks at a certain price, or they can't own certain fossil fuels, right? How many funds out there right now cannot own fossil fuel stocks? A lot. So you've got short-term incentives that are creating opportunity. And I thought it was very cool. And the paper goes on to develop the idea that the longer the holding period of these longer-term investors, generally speaking, the higher returns. Now, I couldn't just let that one go, right? I had to go look. So I wanted to figure out, does firms with the longer horizon really deliver longer returns? Fortunately, I had that data, so I could figure it out. And, knock me over with a feather. All of these top funds for top 10%, long-term returns over 10 years have very low turnover, including, by the way, the tech-centric funds like Whale Rock that tend to hold their stocks not for hours, not for minutes, not for days, not for months, but for years. I mean, you've got Valley Forge that I don't think has ever sold a stock, and they only own about 12 of them, and they're beating everybody. So the longer-term horizon does outperform those with a shorter-term horizon over time at the institutional level. And for probably, I'm going to say 98% of the retail level, that is also true, particularly if you take the empirical findings of this paper and you learn to, and Malison's checklist will help. See how I'm tying all this together this morning?
I do like it. Here's the paper you're talking about too.
Yeah. So if you look for the inefficiencies, right? The really good companies that are being sold because, some fund had to divest, some hedge fund blew up, right? Some short-term inefficiency that is creating an opportunity to add this quality company, i.e. CarMax back in November, to your portfolio at an advantageous price. And then you engage in time arbitrage, right? You just own the damn thing for a long time. As Charlie Munger said, I made all his big money in the sitting, not the thinking. So this is a really good paper. I mean, it's high horizon stocks using the definition of this paper outperform by a significant 6% per year over a very long period of time. Now we're looking for.
Sorry, what were you looking for, Tim?
I'm just looking for the next paper. Here we go. This is one that's cool, and I actually ran a screen for this one for you guys. This one is good. It's by a fellow by the name of Magnus Overby. It says, which accounting signals predict future value creation? What this paper does and why I love it so much. Okay, might be my favorite paper of 2025. He doesn't look at the price at all of the stock. He doesn't say which stock does the best. He could care less. That doesn't matter for this paper. All right. What he looks at, it's which accounting signals can we take that create value in the business over time. So don't tell me what the stock price did. Mm-hmm. Tell me what the business is worth. Now, they're kind of the same thing, except they're not, because there's all sorts of, stock issuance and a bunch of other things that can happen along the way. So they really dig into this forecast using accounting, not price. And he builds it from three different levels. He looks at dividends. He looks at earnings. He looks at dilution and accretion. Now, here's what we came up with. Creating value per share comes down to a couple of things. And the core findings, the three that really matter here. Fundamental momentum dominates everything else, right? Earnings momentum is by far the strongest predictor of future improvements in shareholder value. Revenue growth persistent comes next. This is a critical point. If I am selling more stuff each and every year and making more money on the stuff I sell, my business is going to grow in value. Unless I really screw up on the reinvestment, and that's second, investment stability, smooth, consistent capital spending, great R&D profiles perform better than those that are all over the place. Disciplined capital allocation beats aggressive, erratic spending, even before market, may reprice some of those choices. Accounting adds signal. All right. You're looking at accruals quality, operating cash flow strength, earnings manipulation. All right. This is not dominant, but they do meaningfully refine it. And let me show you how in this one. Because when I run for the first two variables, which were relatively easy to do, I get a list of stocks.
Perfect.
Okay, first I'm gonna take the third variable out for a second. Okay. Now my list of stocks, and I got a fair amount of stocks on here. I think I got 200 stocks. And we're gonna do this by market cap so everybody knows who the hell these people are. Okay. NVIDIA, Taiwan Semiconductor, Lilly, ASM Holdings, GE, Amphenol, Arista, and AppLovin. With me?
Oh yeah, all of those get talked about here on a regular basis.
On a regular basis.
I can't believe AppLovin is on that list, but here we are.
Here we are. But now let's just make sure that they're not manipulating the earnings factor here. So let's go there. We're just going to change that to that. Okay. My list changes, right? Because now I've got Taiwan Semiconductor, ASML, GE, Ericsson. Some names dropped off of here or dropped down the list because they're using option grants, changing the way they depreciate things and move things around to basically manipulate earnings. And yes, NVIDIA is terrible about it because they do a lot of stuff with option grants and buybacks to cover the option grants. But Arista, AppLovin is still on there. Progressive Corp, the insurance company, worst commercials, most annoying commercials ever. They were cute for like a year. They've gone on a decade too long.
I look, I'm glad somebody else has that opinion because I am so tired of it. I mean, I'm sure that Flo lady is a nice lady, but for heaven's sakes, like, let's do something else.
You know what? I'm sure you wouldn't want to live next door to that lady. I'm just gonna point that out. That she's probably not fun.
Yeah, or Mara or Jamie. I'm just saying, just annoying.
Jamie's creepy. I mean, Jamie's got prison in his future. I'm just gonna tell you all that now. I mean, all right. Next up, all right, and this is where you ever see the scene Blues Brother where they're playing in the country bar and everybody's throwing the beer bottles up against the grid and all.
Of course.
I'm glad I'm online here today because I don't need my chicken wire grid. All right, but. Although I did not write this paper, I agree with every word in it. And I tested the assumptions last night, and it's right. If you use a Markowitz mean variance portfolio theory from Modern Portfolio Theory to calculate the optimum long-term portfolio share of Bitcoin, any guesses what it's going to be? By the way, the growing institutional narrative right now is that somewhere between 2 and 5% of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin. Anybody want to know what the proper allocation to Bitcoin to a long-term portfolio really is?
I mean, I want to know, but judging by how you're setting this up, probably less than 2%.
Try less than 0.
Okay.
The allocation of look, remember, this is measuring return against volatility. Okay, against the overall value of the portfolio. So you should own it in a long-term portfolio. Now, and I've said this before, Bitcoin may be the most do you have a Bitcoin chart there, Brian?
I do. Yeah. Let me bring it up here. I've actually got one. Oops, I'm clicking the wrong things here, Tim. For heaven's sakes, where's my Bitcoin chart? Crypto chart. Here we go. Yeah. Here's Bitcoin.
Bitcoin may be the trendiest asset I have ever laid eyes on in my entire life. I mean, you put the 200-day moving average on Bitcoin, and it's hard to lose money. I mean, there's the thundering herd here is not even subtle, right? So if you were just using this from a trend point of view, longer term trend, you've been short this thing since like 108,000.
Yeah, so really quickly, Tim, the blue line, the blue moving average line is in fact the 200 here. And you're exactly right. We lost that here at 108,000 and change.
I have Now, but to go back and look at the long trade preceding that, I mean, you just rode it all the way
Yeah.
up.
Oh yeah.
There's, Bitcoin's very trendy. It's a cool trading asset if you like these kinds of things.
And by the way, really quick, the last time here, we were in the downtrend was actually a little bit shorter, right? We broke through this in January of 2022, and then we broke back above it in January of 2023. So we had a down year there. And to your point, the run after this cross in January of 2023, I mean, it gave it up in November of 2025. That's more than 2 years.
Okay, now look. Here, JD something LV8BS. I have no idea what that is, but he says, "Isn't Bitcoin a CIA operation?" It's at the Money Show with a bunch of guys, a bunch of traders, investments a couple years ago, and we sat around, and this was the conversation late in the evening. What is Bitcoin really? Who did this? The CIA is one of the leading theories out there, right? If you wanted to track every bad actor in the world, the movement of every cash funding every bad actor, what would you do? Create an alternative currency that allows them to move money outside of the system. So that one's not bad. So this is just goes to pure portfolio theory. Doesn't belong in a long-term portfolio. My theory about the fact that this is the biggest con game ever foisted off on the investing public, well, it doesn't really fit in, but that doesn't, it backs up the fact that you really shouldn't have this in a long-term portfolio. If you're going to trade it, good for you. And I hope you make tons and tons and tons of cash. But when you look at the long-term underpinnings and reasoning of Bitcoin, it don't hold any water as far as I'm concerned.
So Tim, real quickly here, and we'll push back a little bit on this.
I want to push back on the pyramid scheme thing. Okay. Wasn't Bitcoin? Oh, is that funny? No, it's not funny. 10% of the wallets own 90-some% of the Bitcoin. What's that look like to you?
Tim, here's a weekly logarithmic chart of the Bitcoin price. Hard for me to agree with that paper, to be honest with you, just solely on this. And here we go. And thank you, Day Trader, for suggesting this. Now go to the weekly log chart. Day Trader says, no problem, Tim. I'll hold your Bitcoin.
Well, you can have all my Bitcoin. I'll send it to you. What's your mailing address? I gotta put it in a box.
Didn't you mean his wallet address?
Yeah.
Boomer?
So look,
I'm just kidding.
Look, when you adjust that for volatility in a longer term portfolio, it doesn't make any sense at this point in time. Okay. It is a highly speculative asset. And if you've gotten it right, good for you. Right. But having said that, it doesn't fit into the qualifications. Anyway, I told you it's a good thing. No chicken wire, right? Because I'd be ducking bottles like crazy right now. But
I was just thinking to myself as you were talking about that. Well, gosh, I don't think Tim's adding down here at 72K.
Level. I'm really not. I think you make a lot of money selling electricity to Bitcoin miners, but and it'll be interesting to see how digital currencies, not Bitcoin, evolve over time. Okay. I mean, digital currencies may or may not be with us. I talk a lot about stable coins. Stable coins and private credit are the two places where you watch very carefully, because that's where the next crisis is coming from, or those two areas. So Anyway, remember that I said that. Disagree with me today, I will take a victory lap on this one. And by the way, Ryan, Chipotle, really, that stuff is awful.
You don't like Chipotle?
No, I don't. And Chipotle doesn't like me back. It's like playing lottery to go eat at Chipotle.
Okay, well, I'll leave it at that. I'll say Chipotle. It never had that impact on me. It never had that impact on me. I guess I'm lucky.
My wife and daughter love Chipotle, and
they're the smart ones.
Yeah, well, I've got this sensitive, mid 20th century Irish white guy stomach. I just, can't do it. That does not end well for me. But anyway, all of these papers, Guy, really fascinating. And if you look at the Mamison paper, the Horizon paper, and the renewable energy papers, there's a lot of money to be made just in those three papers with you.
Okay, well, Tim, I will say this, and I think I speak for a majority of the group. First of all, I definitely appreciate you sharing the sources. I did drop all of those in the chat for anyone that wants to review the papers themselves. Thank you, Tim, for doing the legwork for us. But perhaps more importantly than that, I love that you actually derive insights from these papers and then deliver them to us here so that we don't have to do it ourselves.
Well, somebody's got to do it. No, I actually, you know what? I I read them like novels. I've been doing it for like a very long time. My wife thinks I'm weird. She's probably right, but I'm happy to come on here and share the information with you guys.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, and you already let the cat out of the bag. Your wife likes Chipotle. You don't,
All right.
so we know who to go to.
Now, Hamid, I'm calling you out. You're going to call me out on bank stocks? Don't do it, pal. I've got over 100 and some winning trades in a row with an average gain of about 100%. We've closed like 3 losers in 14 years. All right. The rate of record from my banking portfolio, I'll put it up against anybody out there. So you don't want to mess with me on that one. I've been doing it too long and I'm too good at it.
Hamid, his name is Lion. We call him Lion. I love this guy. He's made me money. Lion, I love you to death. But you ain't got no chance against Tim's performance. You ain't got no chance, buddy.
I will lose some arguments to you, but this ain't one of them.
But this ain't one of them. That is for sure.
I've eaten up your time. I want y'all to have a great day. Stay warm. Stay safe. Longest Arctic air event since 2010. Eventually, the Canadians will take their air back, and we can get back to normal. Have a great week, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. Thanks for the jokes, the insights, the quips, and everything else in between. I'm in agreement with Izzy here, though, folks. Tim is confusing Taco Bell and Chipotle. Like Tim, Taco Bell's the one that doesn't do well for the stomach, not Chipotle. Okay. All right, folks. One more thing to take care of here. There is one street tweet out here that I want to get, that I want to share with you folks. It is topical. Won't spend a whole lot of time. And then I also want to promote a webinar. You know what? Let's do the webinar first here, producer. Let's do the webinar first. We've got another free one for you to sign up for. Here you go. If you want to harness volatility for income, we can use options to do it. Volatility doesn't have to be something investors fear. It can be a source of income when used strategically. So join Matt Holcomb, portfolio manager at Rex Shares, for an in-depth webinar on how option strategies can be used to potentially generate income in volatile markets. During the session, we will cover understanding volatility in options, how to harness the volatility for income, and navigating today's market environment. Whether you're an active trader or a long-term investor looking to diversify your income toolkit, this webinar will provide practical insights into how option strategies are designed to work across different market environments. All you have to do is show up. It's free. Go ahead and scan the QR code there on the screen if you're interested in new option trading there. We're definitely pleased to offer this webinar here, and we're going to keep trying to bring you the goods, whether it's on the show or adjacent to the show. We're going to keep trying to do all of this good stuff. Now, really quick, let's go ahead and do our Street Tweets segment. All right, first tweet here. I know it's a little lengthy, but I'm going to go through it here. This is topical here. Some napkin math on the Tesla, SpaceX, XAI saga that is ongoing. You're missing that a combined Tesla, SpaceX, XAI stock would likely trade at a lower PE than the two pieces on their own. He's quote tweeting someone here about just kind of the different Tesla stakes here. And then he does some napkin math for you. Why? He says a 200 price to earnings for Tesla, which is 55%, and a 400 price to earnings for SpaceX plus XAI, coming in at 45% to reach that entire 100%. That combo will sell at the least common denominator for price to earnings, which makes the dilution math unattractive unless there are synergies. In addition, Tesla owners today who don't want to make a bet on space exploration and comms would sell their shares. Let me know if there's anyone out there that holds Tesla that agrees here with Gary. If this all merges, would you sell your Tesla shares because it doesn't meet your criteria anymore? So assuming a combined 200x PE on what we assume will be 10 billion in combined net income, 7 from Tesla, 8 from 7 billion from Tesla, SpaceX 8 billion, and XAI minus 5 billion. That's how we got the math. My apologies. Is worth 2 trillion. That's 200x times the 10 billion, or minus 27% below the combined 2.75 trillion priority market cap before the merger. So some napkin math here. I know that this is causing some people to think, if they do that IPO and everything's combined here, maybe those shares come in a little bit. I don't know if I'm with them there. Tesla trades at a ridiculous PE. I don't know any Tesla bull that really cares a whole lot about the PE. Anyway, thought this was fairly interesting. We are in the early innings of this entire thing. We're going to keep covering all of this. Gary Black thinking that this might come in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and let's get to our movers. I don't know how much is out there, but we're about to find out and get you prepared for it. Pre-market pulse starts right now. We'll bring on 13 for that. $13, how you doing, boss?
I'm doing just fine this morning. I heard that little incident thing there with Tesla. Yeah, I don't think that's a great take. People that own Tesla aren't going to sell Tesla for that reason.
I didn't think
Tesla,
so either.
People, in my opinion, own Tesla because they want to, be part of what Musk is building.
Me too. And I think that this conglomerate, this all of this stuff, to me, this is just accretive. I agree with you. I don't think anyone's selling. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think anyone's selling. Actually, Janet here, I appreciate this. I love Tesla, and she's agreeing with us and our synopsis there, which does go against Gary Black a little bit. So, okay.
All right. Hit the like then.
Yeah. 13. I love it. Let's go. Let's see if we can actually get those lights up. Producer, let me know where they're at there. Let me know where they're at there. Okay. First one on the list here is Slab. This is Silicon Laboratories, and I believe this is the takeover, right? Yes. Texas Instruments to acquire Silicon Labs for $231 a share, stocks 204 here in the pre-market. It is an all-cash transaction valued at $7.5 billion. So this is a done deal here. I don't know if you guys even want to kind of go after this, but this is a takeover here. The ticker is SLAB, and it's Texas Instruments that is buying them, ticker TXN. Did you have anything else on this, or should I get to an actual mover?
As soon as I looked at this and saw that the session volume was less than 1 million, I was like, oh, well, there's probably no reason to even try and trade this. And then the takeover news.
Okay. My producer is telling me that we are actually still under 100 likes. So if that's the case, then just enjoy the sweet sounds of movers. 13 and I will do something else.
Oh.
Okay, just kidding. We're actually going to break this down. But guys, like the stream, help us out. It's free. Come on. I'll stop asking if we can get that number boosted.
You left before I did, and I was like, oh, I guess he just means himself.
We're having fun here. Okay, let's get to the movers here. Sorry about that. The first one here is, no, it's not Giggle. It's Sigil. CIGL. This is Concord International Group. This stock was about 270 yesterday. We did test 5 in the after hours on the impulse move. Looks like we tried to do that again here today, but we could not actually get up to 5. Looking at this, let's see what we got here. Looks like we had a Form 6. Didn't go through. What do you got? What is it?
It's a merger.
Okay.
That was I think it's not definitive yet, but they've already filed for it. It's going to go through the regulatory process. It's a merger with You've, I believe. Hold on a second, let me just pull it up real quick. You've YOOV. It's an intelligence as a service solution that's in Hong Kong. So this merger is valued at $600 million. The stock that is running today, that only has 2.27 million shares in the float. So I think that's the bigger reason why it's moving. It doesn't have a whole lot of cash. Not exactly. I didn't read through how that merger is going to go down. I know if it's going to be, just a combination of cash and stock or what have you. But for a $600 million merger, and we're looking at a company that's got about 1/10 of that in market cap, kind of makes you wonder where the cash is coming from, or if this is just going to be some kind of stock merger. In any event, I didn't do the math, so I don't know how high or low this is going to go. Fortunately, I still have my levels here from the last time we traded this, and the ones that we've been interacting with today are 325, 4, and 490. Those are the levels that I've had on this stock since the last time we traded it, maybe even the time before that. We broke through the 325. We're kind of hanging out around this, above and below this $4 area. But 2 times already since the after hours and in the pre-market here today, we've tried to get up and through that 490 area. Now, we did get up to 498 in the initial impulse move, but came right back down. And the next time that we came up, we couldn't even get to 490. So Still think 490 is going to be the big upside area to keep an eye on. There also is some resistance around 450 that's been keeping the price a bit suppressed. But if we're going to turn around at all, we're going to need to find some volume that takes us back over the VWAP and the 65 EMA and that $4 level, which are all basically in the same area.
Okay. All right. Really good breakdown there. Also, the one thing you didn't mention there, short interest, it's negligible on this name. Really no big deal at all. So it shouldn't play into anything here today. And just as a reminder, float 2.27 million. So that is right squarely in the wheelhouse there. Okay. Next one here. And actually this list is shifting around here. Easy for me to say. Next one here is Elong Power. I know we've traded this one before. Your ticker on this one is ELPW. This stock traded up. Oh, this actually had kind of I know it wasn't a whole lot on a percentage basis. This thing basically drifted down yesterday. This thing had a huge, just outside move on Friday, January 30th, came right back down to earth. This is the type of halt fest nonsense that I like to avoid. Now, maybe that's over here. We did trade up a little bit in the after hours. We did it again here today. Looks like 180 was the top. We gave up the VWAP. It does look like we're curling. We'll see if we're able to do that here. We had another Form 6 here on this one. So it looks like yesterday in the after hours, Elong Power Limited is closing the 7.6 million public offering. So offering is done here. Looks like maybe it's out of the way. Stock's up 45% here today. Quick peek at the short interest. Again, negligible on this name, less than 1%, just about 7/10 here in 1 day to cover. On average, stock trades 1.3 million. It's done 14 million here today, and the float in our wheelhouse right there at 2.5 million. So 13, what do you think here on ELPW?
So I looked at the price action of this because I saw when I was looking through the news feed that on January 30th, this thing ran over 3,000%. And I think it was on the upcoming sale of those of the offering. This seems real scummy to me to run the price up and then drop the offering, even though in that same week they had already filed to sell more shares. So capital raised happened here, but they ran the stock up ahead of that. Real scummy move, in my opinion. And the company still needs cash. They burn through a ton of cash every year. I don't think that what they've raised is going to get them through an entire year. So another offering could be coming later on. Don't know if it's going to even come as early as today, but I don't know about this one. This one just kind of screams, well, you could lose your hat in this one, but it seems like with the offering out of the way, it might provide some trades, but I would just say trade this one at your own risk. If we are going to get some support where the current price is, I think the resistance is going to be up around 150 if we end up climbing that high.
Okay, this here in the battery theme too, right? This is in energy storage here as well. It manufactures, sells, and services high-power lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. So theme correct here. We'll see how this actually trades here today. Day trader saying the 10-minute ELPW chart is crazy with all of the halts that happened here. I actually had a 15. Let me see here. Here is your 10-minute. We'll actually look at this.
Yeah. On the 30th,
at this is not this to me just straight up here. This isn't trading. This is gambling.
No, this is scam. This is a scam, is what it is, in my opinion.
Zach says this one smells.
Oh yeah. So it's up to you if you want to try and trade this thing. I think there's better stuff out there, even though this list does seem pretty small today. Just don't want anybody to get hurt. And when I see this right ahead of an earnings, I just lose all trust in that company. Okay.
All right. Really good stuff. JD here. Good story. I got out here on the AH 1420. Okay. Well, at least you're able to make money instead of getting crushed on that one. ELPW, we'll see if this gets rolling here today. Again, just really quickly, 137 is your VWAP there. We'll see if we take that out. Okay, next here is Box L. This one at this point, I mean, maybe we can almost call this one an ex-girlfriend at this point. We've traded this one a number of times. We've seen it on the scanner before. It's moving here in the morning. 2 impulse moves, a higher high and higher lows to go with it. We're beneath the VWAP, so that 180 VWAP sure looks like maybe taking that out will set something up here. I don't see any news on this. This just looks like it's kind of trading here, but man, 57 million shares traded. This thing sub 1 million float, and the short interest on this elevated 16.09% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. Thing on average trades 2.2 million shares, so there shouldn't be trouble getting out of this quickly, even with the elevated short interest. 13, what do you think here on Box L, BOXL?
Yeah, didn't notice any news. I think it's more along the lines of this thing has a low float, so it's easier to move around, and I think it's also kind of in some of the theme of education that we've been seeing. I know that we had UTI that came out this morning. And I don't.
Ooh, I didn't even look at that. That was a good one.
I don't think it is doing too well. I didn't look at it though, but this one has a quarter or two of cash, so may need to raise at some point. They started to go through the motions of regaining compliance. I don't know that they lost it or not, but I see that they did a 1-for-6 reverse split in December.
Yep.
So that's usually comes before they do a capital raise. So just kind of putting that out there. Be careful with this one. They could raise capital as early as today. Now that it's getting some attention and you're seeing elevated prices, just keep that in mind if you're going to trade this one. As far as the chart goes, it looks like the 65 EMA has been providing support with this entire move so far. Following the first impulse move that brought us back down earlier this morning, we got support from the 65 EMA, and then we rallied to a new pre-market high of 212. And here we are coming right back down to the 65 EMA. So it'll be interesting to see if this ends up holding up here with that current moving average in order to turn around and recapture VWAP.
Real quick here, 13. This is a good heads up alert here by day trader. September 23rd of 2025, they did a $4 million registered direct offering of common stock priced at the market. And it looks like that was 1.333 repetand million shares with $3 per share. Day trader here saying they ran it up right before their last offering. So if we go back to the chart, we go back to the daily chart. We were talking about September. All right. So is that this?
Looks like it.
Sure is, folks. There actually was a little bit of a pop several days before, then a big pop. They did an offering on that day. Stock came back in. This is a good mention here. Good stuff on this one. Be careful.
That's great. And that's exactly why we like to point these things out, especially when a company is not profitable.
Absolutely. Let's see if this gets support here at 166, but overall, be careful. Okay, next, people are getting fed again. And It's not Chipotle because they missed earnings. This is actually feed on View Medical here. This has actually been a pretty good trade for our group recently. I know it's made these two huge moves. It gives them up, right? So if you're able to get a nice entry here and get a gain on one of these stocks, definitely don't be afraid to take it. You'll get other opportunities. You don't need to hold for the home run move. Pay more attention to your risk profile more than anything else. 340 looks to be the pre-market resistance area here today. Let's see if we had anything going on news-wise. I got nothing fresh here, so this looks like just maybe some relative volume, some continued trading from what we've seen recently. Again, a reminder here on the short interest, 1.4% versus 1 day to cover. That's nothing. On average, a stock trades 15.5 million shares. It's done almost that already. And the float here is 1 million. So this thing can get pushed around. 13, what do you think of the chart on this one?
Well, right now on the 5-minute chart, it looks like we're setting up to try and push higher here. I don't know if we're going to get some back and forth and back test the VWAP first before we do. But this pattern looks like we're either setting up for a cup with handle or a scallop. So if it's going to be a cup with handle, we're going to see some rejection up at this the high. I think we could even consider the high already made as where it's going to go before we start to create the handle. Otherwise, if it's a scallop, we're just going to not even pull back really. We're just going to take one step back and then jettison through this 345 high that we made earlier. So if we do that, I think we could end up seeing. Let's see where this goes to. Looks like 370s is certainly going to be one area we could run up to. If you look at the past several days, that's been a support and resistance area. So I would kind of peg 370 as the next big resistance area from here. And then after that, $4.
Okay. Really good stuff there on feed. We'll see if that ends up getting it. See if there's anything else here in the chat that I missed. We will take a look at some of those. Do you have anything else on the movers list that you wanted to take a look at? I kind of already talked about ENPH a little bit. That's an earnings beat, so in the solar theme.
No, I don't have anything. It's pretty thin list today. Lots of directional ETFs as well.
Yeah, it sure is. Apps here, that's ticker APPS. That's Digital Turbine. They reported earnings. Looks like a beat on the top and the bottom line here. Ripped higher. It's holding it well here today. Raised guidance. So you get the trifecta here on apps. See if there's any short interest. Yeah, it's 9, almost 10% of the float shorted 4 days to cover. So maybe there's a little bit of action here. Float's 106 million though. And on average, stock trade 3.2 million shares, done over 600,000 today. So ticker apps, this is moving on earnings. Looking at the chart here, maybe what, 610, 620, this whole area in here up to maybe 615 or 620 looks to be the next resistance there. Okay.
Yeah, 615 is the high.
Yep. Okay. Kathy wants to take a look at EVTV. That is on the list here. It is up by 10%, and it actually did have a volume pop. Interestingly enough, this popped in the pre-market, was boring, frankly, out of the open before the volume. Stop me if you've heard that before. The volume really kind of led the show here, gave us a move intraday. Now we're getting a much bigger one here today. Let's see if there was any news on this one. Indeed, there is. Envirotech Vehicles advances modular data and power infrastructure initiative in collaboration with Azio AI following an on-site engineering and technical validation review completion. That sounds like a lot of the on-site engineering validation. Okay, so basically it's technically ready for their next project here. Hands-on evaluation to validate the system performance, layouts, and integration. Key milestones completed with the okay, so this seems like kind of a progress report, and it looks like everything here is good for so far. So I'm sorry, I'm not necessarily following the story here, but it looks like they're going to be able to continue with their infrastructure program here. Quick peek at the short interest on this name. Negligible, about 1%, 1 day to cover, and really nothing there. Float 4.45 million. On average, stock does 27 million shares. We've already done 13 here today. Just judging by the volume in the chart here, Kathy, I think this is a good one. I think this could absolutely be on.
Yeah, it looks like
here today.
It does have a pretty good setup here. If we start to recapture, I would say 260. That might be what we need to see in order to come back up to VWAP. We really just need to get back above VWAP, but this does look like it's a bit of a bullish, like a bull flag. So hopefully we don't continue lower. If we do, maybe there's support coming around 250, but I would like to see this turn around much sooner than that. And if we start to, then we'll watch for that break over VWAP, which hopefully this time it'll sustain. You can see that since we lost VWAP after that impulse move, we've had a tough time trying to recapture it. So we need to see some good volume in order to get back through that and take us higher. 275 looks to be the spot where we don't have any closes on the 5-minute candles, just a bunch of wicks there. So that might be the breakout spot.
Okay. Also, one more thing to mention here. I know we didn't necessarily cover it. We can here if you want. 13 AGQ is on this list. That's that ProShares Ultra Silver ETF. That was actually kind of wild. It really didn't give a great up move yesterday unless you held it overnight, which is dangerous. Looking at the silver chart here, SLV, 82.75. That closed at 77 just about yesterday. So we're up another 5, almost 6 points here on silver, or at least the SLV ETF. So that might be in play here today. Would be very interested to hear any trades on that. I don't think there's anything else here. Inno Holdings, INHD. This is one that we've traded before. This popped in the after hours. Looks like this was on a Form 14A. What did we have here? Company reported first quarter fiscal revenue of 1.46 million for 3 months. Hong Kong-based building technology company. Yeah, so it had some decent numbers here. I don't know. This to me, we'll see here. This, just looking at this, the chart really needs to get above 140. Did you have anything else in the movers list that you want to take a look at? I think someone was asking about LIMN.
No, but real quick on SLV, need to see a recapture of this 20-day SMA, or else I think we could get a rejection and sent back down. That looks like it's got a really prominent bear flag formation setting up here. So need to see this 20-day SMA get taken out, or that's going to be the side of rejection, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Here's your SLV daily. Here's LIMN. LIMN. This had a pretty big move yesterday, so maybe you get a relative volume move here today. Looks like it's pulling back. Let's see if 113 holds here. That's about all I got for LIMN. Okay. 13. Can we do Broadcom levels for Jay
Sure.
Harris? It's another day. The sun is up. So Jay Harris wants his Broadcom levels. I'm going to leave the daily chart here. I hope that you guys can see it through the Fibonacci. I'm going to step away for 1 sec 13. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, when we look at this Broadcom chart, one of the things that stands out, because we did get a lot of it in multiple semiconductor names, is a gap that we apparently have filled yesterday. So this gap from September 4th to 5th, we filled that with the candle that took us down to the 200-day SMA, and that could mean a couple of things. Either we're going to turn around and climb higher, or we're just going to go sideways and probably end up leaking beneath the 200-day SMA. Levels that I have for this, let's see here. So 300 is going to be a particular spot of interest, but that's beneath the 200-day SMA. So not really looking at that quite yet. Want to see this 200-day SMA hold up. And it seems like we're just caught between the 20 and the 200 at the moment. Whichever one we start closing over, that's probably the direction we go. I'm inclined to believe that we're going to see some more downside in Broadcom. And if that's the case, then we will hit 300, maybe even go underneath it to maybe 280, maybe as low as 250 over a period of time. But being that this is a part of an AI super cycle, we're going to see these a lot of back and forth, and we're probably just going to end up seeing some of that downturn for a short period of time. Really, the 200-day SMA is the one that stands out to me the most of an area that needs to hold up if we're going to turn around and go higher. Other than that, this looks like the 20-day SMA is continuing to keep the price down. So that's what it looks like to me.
Okay, good stuff there on Broadcom. Thank you, 13. What else do you want to take a look at, you or the chat?
We'll keep an eye on feed. That's just put in a new pre-market high. It's trying to break through that 245 area. Still hasn't been able to get it yet, but we'll see what happens out of the open. I don't have anything really that was particularly interested in looking at. Whatever the chat wants to look at. Okay.
Microsoft and Micron are being asked here. Are being asked about here. So let's take a look. Microsoft, we'll start with that. MSFT. This continues to get hammered here. To me, it sure looks like 400 is going to be next. Maybe 395. We're actually in the gap that we had talked about too. And the selling pressure has been relentless. Software has been out of favor. Nothing new there. But we'll see here where we go. I've got the 395-ish.
I think that's probably one of the worst case scenarios. I mean, and it's something we've expected. Since we had this double top, we were expecting there to be some downside, and certainly we're getting it. We've lost the 200-day SMA. We've def crossed, back in earlier in January. So all this downside is expected, and let's see how. I think what we were looking for is to potentially have that gap fill. So if all that happens, we would really need to see the price start to turn around after that, because going lower, there's some other things in the market that are pressuring it to the downside. Then at that point, so that's what I think here with Microsoft, that we're just kind of anticipating this to come down. I think you're right about the $400 spot, maybe even the 395.
And Lance here from the chat says maybe even 385, which would be a very quick overshoot of that gap fill spot.
But it's still above. I don't think we're going to really go beneath 375. That seems to be like the last stop. You could make a case for 350, but I think 375 is about as low as we're going to go.
Okay. So 375. I said 395. Lance here from the chat says 385. Take your pick. Which one you like there on Microsoft?
And I don't think that we'll hit 375. I might be wrong about that, but I just, if we do end up going down there, that's when I think that we'll start seeing the buying pick up.
Okay. Micron, we'll do this next. This one, just along with a lot of those other memory names, continues to outperform here. Buffalo by Bicycle says, I like Micron on a pullback. You know exactly what my follow-up question is going to be, right? What level do you like it at? I've got the 20-day moving average here at 381.63. These memory names, the 20-day moving average has pretty much been all you needed. We've tested the 50 maybe once here on SanDisk. That came back in 2025, back in November. It was the same thing or a similar thing. here on Micron. So really your pullback here, first level I'm looking at here, 381. Now, Marianetta likes 400 on this. I agree with you because I think that round number is likely going to provide some type of action. And frankly, these memory names do not look like they like to pull back for very long. So maybe you do get there at, maybe you do get a tradable bounce or an entry there at 400. I still think I like this a little bit more, a little bit lower, especially if we overshoot that round number. Looking at the chart here, the last time that we came in and actually tested the 20-day, in fact, we did overshoot that. The first time it took 4 days to recover. The second one, it recovered the day after we broke and closed beneath it. So it's going to be pretty quick. I like Micron on a pullback too. We'll see what we get here. Okay, we are open. Let me go over to my main workspace. Let's take a look at what we got.
So just to put a bow on Micron, I think you'll probably end up getting those that pullback, but it might be, it could be pretty substantial, like maybe down to 360. When I look at longer time frames, it doesn't. The last month and this month don't look that great to me. So just consider that. All right, movers time.
Tommy wants to say Apple question mark. Yeah, that's higher here. Apple's actually been really strong recently. Here's a look at what the move actually has been. Now, this is the 200 EMA on the daily. You can see that we've done a really nice spot. I do think there's some resistance right up here. This is like a previous neckline for a potential head and shoulder that we looked at. I think that this resistance area is about 275 to 280 here on Apple, but this has been strong. Apple at the highs right out of the gate, up 1.62%. And that's actually relative strength against the NASDAQ. This is 2 days in a row now. NASDAQ pulled right out of the open. Apple going the opposite direction. Wonder if we had there was a news story. I can't remember all the details because I don't have it in front of me, but we had news the other day about Apple, something coming here, and market sure looks like that's the case. What do you got?
Feed. We have a new session high, 363.
Boom, boom, boom.
Apps, Digital Turbine, that dropped down to toward its 200 EMA. It's getting a rebound. EVTV opened, went down to the 65 EMA. That's trying to turn around now. Same thing with Boxlight, 65 EMA, turning around.
Okay, there was a lot of those seemingly like they're doing the same thing. Here's apps. So yeah, indeed. Boy, that entry was down there at 560. You had to be quick on that one.
Yep. But feed, we already had that good looking setup, and it ended up giving us a little bit of a megaphone pattern right into the open. So now here we are climbing up towards that 370. I think 375 is what I was saying could be the earliest resistance area. We'll see if we can plow through that. If we can, I think $4 is next.
Okay. Brian here saying NQ, a replay of yesterday, straight down out of the open. Indeed. And actually, the S&P is following behind it, although much slower. Dow going the opposite way. Dow diverging from this here today.
Apps reversed, and now it's taken off, looking to challenge the impulse move up to 615.
Okay, I've got VWAP here at 592. I definitely don't want to chase this on the break higher here. For any of you that, man, I'll tell you what, 13, that ad right off the 200 EMA on the 5 minute, that would have been money. Yep. That would have been fast. Even if you didn't get exactly that price, that'd have been really good. I see some Google options trading here. That's ahead of its report tonight. Google dropping here out of the gate. Let me know if you guys like Google. ENPH getting mentioned here in the chat. That was moving big time on earnings beat. And look at this. We just had a lot of talk about solar here. ENPH. Pete, you had a comment here that ENPH was the earnings report was a really good comment on the growth. Did I see that earlier? Tim was popping off, so I couldn't quote you right when you said it. Let me see if I can find that. That might be too far back.
ELPW is starting to get going here.
Bummer.
Elong Power, ELPW, this is starting to get a lift, coming up into some of the levels from earlier this morning and when the pre-market opened. Looks like 150 could be resistance area.
Okay, this went above its VWAP there, ELPW.
So apps hit 619. Now it's backing off, still above the 65 EMA.
Yeah,
It's backing off now, except ELPW. That's still going.
ELPW, I don't want to chase that move. I don't feel good about that. Light, someone asked about Lumentum Holdings, another dip here to the 200 EMA and a really significant bounce. This thing actually recaptured its VWAP. Looks like it's flirting right now with the 65 EMA. That value there, 480 and a half. That's LITE, Lumentum. PayPal, someone was asking, where's the bottom in PayPal? Bro, I'll give you $1 if you can tell me, because I have no idea where this is. This thing having another rough day after like a 30% haircut yesterday. More lows here. Tell you what, man, PayPal, we talked a lot about this. Why is it doing this? Competition is one of the things that was thrown out there. But honestly, the more and more we look at this, it really was, this business was sopped up by the buy now, pay later. And they kind of added that late too, right? Like Affirm and Klarna were already doing their thing. PayPal late to the party here. You're starting to see that reflected here in the price. Look, I've wanted to take a long on PayPal for a while. It simply hasn't worked. There's just no getting around that. Any of you that are interested in trading PayPal, let me know where you think that bottom is and how you got that. That
30.
would be a good group discussion here. What do you got?
I said 30.
30. Okay.
Just like yesterday, I think 30. That's the all-time low. It's it made it shortly after it IPO'd. This takes us back to December. I'm sorry, not December. August 2015. That's also kind of where the price could end up hitting this trend line that I've got going from the. Remember, I had you draw it yesterday from the all-time high in July of 2021 through that January 2025 high.
Yep,
And,
I drew that on my other chart, but you know what? Let me try and redo that here, 13, because that was good. The July high through the yep, here it is. And I'll extend this out here a little bit. We'll add this to both charts, 13.
Yeah, so I think that that kind of lines up pretty well with the all-time low if we get down there pretty soon, like this month. So that's what I'd be looking at with PayPal. I think PayPal is going to 30.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Let's see. Is there anything on the options?
ELPW is on fire. And it's halted.
160 put. These are out of the money puts being bought in size. 1.12 million here. This is on Take Two. Take Two down 4.2% here. That does look like a new trade here. Now, Take Two reported earnings here last night, beat on the top and the bottom line. Looks like their guide wasn't great, though.
Oh, probably because they're still waiting for GTA 6 to come out.
Yeah, that's the story here, isn't it? I mean, seriously, like
no, it really is. Unless they say something about GTA 6, this thing's going down.
Okay, well, there was big option buy there to the put side. Trader spent $1.12 million on that trade. That was the 160 put. Let me see what was the expiry on that. I didn't catch that. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can find that here. Take Two. Here it is. 1.12 expiry January of next year. So 2027 expiry there. Take Two. Yikes.
And so while you're looking at that, we also got ELPW that is broke out into an upside halt, now halted at 182.
Wow.
EVTV, I think this is coming up. If you want to draw a trend line from all the highs we made in the pre-market, I think we are getting close to snapping that. And then there was one more somebody was mentioning, I think Palantir. Oh, yes, EVTV, go, buddy.
There's EVTV right to that trend line, to the VWAP and the trend. Yep. So right here, first of all, this is resistance 1. So if you're day trading this, maybe this is a potential area to lighten.
Yeah. It was Palantir. Somebody was mentioning that was heading lower, down 5%. I mean, hey, I think that head and shoulders pattern was kind of telling us something. Following earnings and a good guide, here we are going down to the downside.
Okay, we'll see if we get a retest of that recent low that was down here about 145.
Yeah, I like 142. I got that marked off. Okay. I like 142.
Okay, apps, Digital Turbine. This pulled back here. Looks like this is trying to pick its next direction.
I love, God, you guys are awesome. Look at the GTA 6 comments. These are great. Everybody knows. Everybody just knows at this point what's going on there. Oh,
GTA 6 comes out next century, trust. A friend of mine said if GTA 6 flops, he's done with gaming for good. Ooh, you know what? That might actually be a positive.
Yeah, I mean, with some of the crap they've been coming out with, they kind of need a wake up call. So if your friend wants to, be an alarm clock for them, go for it. I'd be happy about that.
Michael here with this price. Look at this. Palantir going to 83 soon, in my humble opinion. Michael, we'll take price target opinions all anytime. Matthew saying I'm hoping for 120. Sorry, 13.
No, it's okay. Okay. So here's the thing. I think 120 is going to be one of the earliest spots we get support. I don't think it's going to be the last. I think I'm more inclined to go along with Michael. I'm looking at $90 as the where we get support. That's just beneath the 500-day SMA. I've had this $90 level marked off for a long time, well before we started putting in this 200 print. So I agree with 120, but I don't think it's going to be the last stop. I think we go further down. I'm looking at $90 as the last stop. GTA 6 is called RP. Who wants to work a paper route? And you know what? That should be a spin-off game, Brian. GTA paper route.
Joe, you remember the game Paperboy?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, just do that, but with people shooting at you.
Oh, that sounds great. Actually, it sounds like the south side of Chicago, but I digress. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at some of the other software names. Wow, more weakness here. So we already looked at Microsoft CRM, same deal here. I want to check ServiceNow. That was another one that has been getting blasted. Yep, another minus 3% here. Let's tell you what, software still weak out there. Let me know if anyone is looking for ad spots on this, or if you think we turn around in this. Man, oh man, no bueno.
Hey, sounds like a good plan, Matthew.
SMCI, I know several of you folks were watching that one. Daniel, are you trading this? You're old if you remember Paperboy. Well, guess I'm old then, because I remember that game. I loved that game. I loved that game when I was younger. SMCI continuing to trade higher here. This actually took out the pre-market highs, the back of its earnings report.
This is looking like it's trying to turn around here. The recapture of the 50-day SMA is a good sign. I think the next thing that needs to happen is a recapture of 36.
Jay mentioning SYNA here. They had earnings yesterday.
Keep an eye on Boxlight. I think this is trying to push higher. There's just a lot of sellers in the way, so going to need to see some big volume. But Boxlight looking pretty good. Oh, wow. What's this?
This is Synaptics. Sorry, Jay. I misread that there. So you bought a few calls yesterday, but because of the big move, 7.8% move here right out of the open, trimming some ahead of the earnings, which are tomorrow after the market closes. So you get another session prior to that print. I have this here for tomorrow, Thursday, February 5th. Is that wrong, Jay? It looks like the company has confirmed that.
Big drop through the 200 EMA in APPS, trying to recapture it right now. Yep. I also noticed that, so Boxlight, I was mentioning this a second ago, that was looking like this was trying to push up here. Lots of sellers in the way between here and $2. But if we get this volume expansion, we can get through all of that. This is looking like it's turning around here. Next resistance, it looks to be at about 185.
So this is box L. So you think that this pop here is turning around?
Well, like I said,
it's a little weak.
It's looking like it's turning around. We need that volume component. That's because there's a lot. You can probably look on your price ladder and see a bunch of or your matrix or whatever it is. Lots of sellers between here and $2. I think we need to see an expansion of volume to get through all that. But it's getting the attention right now. So
yeah, and to your point about that 185 spot, this area right here, 183 to 185, has a lot of congestion there in terms of sellers. Yeah. Folks, we got another pre-recorded all access that we're going to do here. It's only 6 minutes. We're going to do that in 3 minutes. 13 and I are going to be coming back from that. And 13, you won't be here on Friday. Is that correct?
Yes, I will not be.
Okay, so just know that ahead of time, folks. No 13 on Friday. We'll try and have some fun here. It's going to be a lot of me talking.
I will be back on Monday, so don't you worry.
There we go.
Make sure you hit the like on Friday.
There we go. I love it. Getting started early here. By the way, great call there on box L there. It really did seem like it stopped right here at VWAP 179 yet again.
We started to get that move over, through 185, but just didn't have the volume. I'm not going to, I wouldn't take my eye off of the box L unless it starts breaking beneath the 65 EMA. It seems to be getting really good support from that. Because if we could just get that volume expansion, like the volume we had around, 8 o'clock, we could push into some new heights. So just need to see that happen here.
Seeing lots of TSM calls getting bought here. TSM at the pre-market high area. These calls are March, so about 2 months, end of March, those expiries. Apple puts getting bought into this pump higher here. What, 277 on Apple?
Boxell is really the only mover that's, aside from ELPW, which is still halted, that's still pushing up right now. Feed is falling down. Apps is really taking a hit. EVTV ran up to that trend line and then turned around and gave it all back, but it hasn't broken down its 65 EMA either. So there still might be some more upside here in EVTV. Big seller on the way at 272 though. CIGL, this thing is almost giving everything back.
Look at that rejection on the EVTV trend line, man. That was, oh man. I'm sorry, I pulled it up a little late there, but that was perfect.
Okay. It's okay. And we might still get a break through that trend line. We're going to need to see more volume, and we need to hold above the 65 EMA. We're trading beneath my view up right now. If we can recapture that, that'd be a good sign. But if we can't, I think this might see some more downside pressure.
All right, Chipotle. Wow. Chipotle flirting with a possible red-green move here. The noob. Did you go? He probably just catered lunch from Chipotle. Here we go. Chipotle, possible red-green move here. Only down 0.3 now.
$10,000 order. What?
Yeah. When the noob says it, it's true. All right. Let's do this really quick. All access. It's on a stock that you folks are familiar with, so I think you're going to like it. Again, it's only 6 minutes. We'll be right back here. Let me kick it over to Ryan. Really good interviewer, good looking dude. Take it away, Ryan. Hello, Zingers, and welcome back to another All Access. I am back with another exciting guest. We follow up today with Jan Goetgeluk, founder and CEO of Virtuix, ticker VTIX on the NASDAQ. All Access starts right now. Hey, Jan, good to have you back. Welcome.
Ryan, good to see you again.
It's been just a couple of, not long since we saw each other last time. Looks like things are rolling along here. Absolutely great. Look, you recently announced the integration of an AI-driven Gaussian splatting technology into your virtual terrain walk system. What is Gaussian splatting again, and what role does it play in the virtual terrain walk system for the defense industry?
Yeah, this is an exciting development and technology. Gaussian splatting is an AI-driven 3D reconstruction technique that allows us to very quickly, from 360-degree camera footage, create photorealistic virtual worlds. That process used to take many weeks or months, very expensive. Now we can do that in just hours. And so we're taking that technology and applying that to our various applications and products, including our virtual terrain walk system for the defense industry. Virtual terrain walk, the slogan is walk the terrain before you fight on it. We let warfighters, soldiers, physically move around inside the virtual world thanks to our Omni treadmills, our omnidirectional treadmills that lets you walk and run in 360 degrees without boundaries. So soldiers can familiarize themselves with the battlefield virtually thanks to Gaussian splatting and our Omni technology, and get a sense of space, of distance. There's nothing like it. For mission planning, mission rehearsal, it's an incredible capability that the military didn't have before. And now we're the only ones providing that. We're getting some great traction. Some initial units have been purchased by Yokota Air Force Base, by the U.S. Air Force Academy, most recently also the Military Academy at West Point bought a unit. So great early traction. And pursuing these contracts in the defense sector.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I know that they've, for the longest time, had to actually rebuild a lot of these settings, build actual duplicates. It seems like this would be a lot more flexible. Look, what other applications do you have for this AI-powered 3D reconstruction technology? And I think I heard you say it there. Are you the only ones doing this?
Yeah. Defense is, of course, a great application, but any application that can benefit from movement inside virtual worlds that are photorealistic replicas of the real world. You can think of industrial training, safety training, real estate as well, and also, for example, virtual tourism on the entertainment side. And so we're the only ones really doing that, applying Gaussian splatting to VR combined with our Omni treadmill technology. So we're adding the physical movement to physically moving around inside those beautiful VR worlds. Because how are you going to walk around in those? You need the Omni, you need our technology, which is, by the way, patent protected. We have 25 patents, 5 more pending. So we have a very strong IP portfolio to keep out any copycats.
Okay, that's awesome. That also sounds really exciting. Look, what does this mean for Virtuix, and how does this drive your overall growth strategy?
Yeah, this is a very impactful technology that really delivers on the full promise of virtual reality. You're creating these photorealistic worlds, and then with our technology, you can move around in those. And it really can drive our growth further. As I mentioned in our last interview, we reported 138% year-over-year growth for the 6 months ended 9/30. We're ready to scale, ready to keep growing. We raised a lot of money in our listing last week that we can use to accelerate our growth. And we pair our consumer sales with potentially high margin defense contracts and enterprise contracts, where the adoption is really accelerated by this Gaussian splatting AI technology, where we can now create these worlds and then move around in that with the Omni. That's revolutionary. And so it's very impactful for our growth going forward.
Okay, now, does this help you generate any recurring revenues beyond the upfront hardware costs?
Yeah, exactly. Both on the consumer side and the defense side and enterprise, we make both revenues from the upfront hardware purchase, on which we make a good margin, but then also we make recurring revenues from software, from licensing out our software. On the defense side, we also aim to create contracts for ongoing custom simulation development. So there's ongoing recurring revenues in addition to the upfront hardware purchase.
Okay, awesome. And then lastly here, why should investors be excited about this?
Yeah, look, we're only getting started. We're ready to scale. We have a lot of growth going on. And with the process from the listing, we can really accelerate that. And look, in a world where we can create beautiful photorealistic worlds using AI-driven 3D construction, how are you going to walk around in those worlds, right? You need our Omni device to do that, and that's really exciting. So our goal is to keep growing our consumer business and then supplement that or pair that with potentially high-margin enterprise and defense contracts. So that dual-use strategy is where we believe we can create long-standing growth and value for our investors. So we're only getting started, and we look really excited about what lies ahead.
Yeah, you're not alone. Really early innings of this, really exciting technology. Jan, thank you so much for joining us here today. Jan Goetgeluk, founder and CEO of Virtuix, that's ticker VTIX on the NASDAQ. Thanks for joining us today, folks. I look forward to seeing you on the next All Access. Now, we'll send it. He'll send it back to us is what Ryan was trying to say there. Good interview, Ryan. Thank you. And that I still I know VTIX had that wild move and then a wild move lower, but I still like that technology. Can't wait to see where that goes from. And you guys are talking about his last name there. Just one thing to note, it actually means good luck. So keep that under your hat as well. All right, 13, you were talking about apps here while the interview was going on. It looks like this is trying to rebound here, but boy, 559 looks to be the spot, huh? That 200 EMA recapture.
Yeah, that's got the next level has to get back over in order to try and recapture VWAP. But if we can't get over this, if we go further south. Also, we did get some more upside here in Boxlight, so that's some good news.
Okay.
We're also holding above VWAP. Don't know if we're going to end up. We could use these highs from the pre-market to kind of give us a target to shoot for with Boxlight. Draw a trend line from the two highs, the one at 420 and the one at 720. And if we do get a breakout here over $2, we might end up hitting this trend line. No guarantees, but something to shoot for if we get that movement.
So I had a trend line. I just connected the pre-market high and the high that we just made in the regular session. Was that right?
No, the 420 high and the 720 high.
Oh, sorry. I need a longer term chart for that.
No, you don't.
Wait, what am I missing here?
Okay.
Never mind.
There you go.
Never mind, bro. I got you. I need to listen to you. That's all. There's our target if we end up trading above it. Thank you, 13.
No problem. And meanwhile, EVTV is trying to break that trend line that we drew earlier. It's getting through it right now. We got to take out the seller at 272. Large seller in the way. We can take him out. Maybe we really need to see this volume expand right here in order to take this guy out. If we do, we might see this go up to 290.
Okay, EVTV, that's looking good there. Also, APPS. So looks like we're trying to push higher here. I've got VWAP at 572. Looks like we might be trying to test that here. That's apps. Nice little bounce here. APPS.
Yep. EVTV still struggling with that trend line and that seller at 272. It's just volume. We just need to see this volume expand here, and I think we take it out.
Okay. Really good stuff there. Really good stuff there. Partial book there on apps. Stop down at break even.
Nice. Also, look at
13.
Look at RGTZ.
Are we getting another pullback in Rigetti?
Yeah, I mean, Rigetti looks like it's setting up to go lower. I think we could see 15. I don't know if we'll see it this week, but we could see $15 in Rigetti this week, in which case RGTZ would be the way to play that to the downside. And here we go with EVTV. We're over that trend line for the moment. Still haven't taken out that seller yet, but we're trying to push at it. It just got a series of wicks right up to that area too.
All right, apps tested that VWAP. We're testing it right now. I've got it at 574 in my broker. So we've got EVTV and APPS as your movers here, both at resistance areas. We'll see if we get that question here on CRM. Let me go to the bigger chart here. We'll answer this question. Where do you see the bounce in CRM? Okay, so good question. I know with these software names, especially some of the really good ones, folks are looking for entry on this. Here's what our CRM chart looks like. We're going to have to back out of this one a little bit. We recently took out one of the lows that we were looking at about 195. I suspect that would actually act as resistance here. As far as your next really thick level here, that's thick with 3 C's, by the way, I would say this is probably closer to 160. You also probably have one in here at 170 and 170.18, not to make it a round number in here, but it sure looks like this was a previous support and resistance area the last time that we were in here. So I would say next levels down here, probably 170, 160 on CRM. Those would both be support levels if they hold.
Getting asked about levels for USAR, USA Rare Earth. If we're going to come back into this, right now we're trying to re-enter this sideways channel that was established from the price action in October. This is like basically from the first several days in October. It doesn't include the rally that we had. It just more has to do with the consolidation before and after the rally. So this has created a bit of a channel between like $25 and $29, and the price is trying to re-enter that. If it cannot, and it comes back down, I think the 20-day SMA is a pretty good looking spot for support. Maybe you get a little bit of a lower print down around 20, but that going down there and holding is what I would think we would need to see, because it does look like this is trying to re-enter that channel and push through this downtrend. Just don't know what it's probably going to be. Some kind of catalyst from Trump or his administration that's going to help lift that through. But if we do come back in, I'd be looking at those areas down there around the 20-day SMA and the $20 level.
Yeah, 20 to 21, just to kind of summarize that, looks pretty good as a possible support area there. All right, let me go back to the main workspace here. EVTV, this is trying to break above the trend line there still.
Went right up to it, got rejected at that where the seller is at 272.
Scaramucci here mentioning feed. This is actually pretty interesting, right? This came all the way back into that pre-market area that reversed it the last time. I'm looking at the low here. It's about 304. I've got at 65 EMA down there at 301. Obviously the round number there at 3. So perhaps this is at a spot where it can turn around. What I will say here, though, you really want to see the volume flow into this, and so far we're not seeing that. So, again, just kind of going back to Mark Petrino's example of on your market, set, go. I don't think we have the go trigger yet, although maybe it is setting up here on feed. The feedback on CRM was I was asked what the next possible support levels looked like, and based on the chart, it sure looked to me like 170 and 160 were next. I understand those are round numbers, but they're also based on previous support and resistance levels.
Wow, that is just an okay.
What?
No, it's just funny because I haven't looked at CRM in a while. I had a trend line out here that we just fell through, which is what when we last talked about it, I think this is something I was mentioning. If you draw a trend line from the April Liberation Day low and just connect it to all the lows prior to the the breakdown in this month, you have to start with the April 4th low. I think that's April 4th.
April 7th.
April 7th, sorry.
Oh, so these are the lows you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And this is what we've broken and really kind of accelerated away from. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I think that I would keep that trend line out there, and for when the price comes back up, because I think that's going to be a resistance trend line. So
yeah.
I think that would help with trading going forward if we do turn around here.
I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right on that.
Now, as far as where the support goes down to, I've got another trend line if you're so keen on drawing.
Might as well.
Start with the low from February of 2016. And draw it through the low of.
I don't. Oh yeah, I do. Never mind. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, so draw it through the low of 2016, February 2016, I believe is what it was.
Yep, right down here. Gotcha.
And draw it through the low of December of 22.
There it is. And then we'll just extend it out to where we're at here today. Bang. So here's another trend line here. Look at that. That's 158-ish, maybe 160, depending on how long it takes to get down there. That sure looks like a pretty decent support level, 13. Cheers.
Yeah. I like that area a little bit.
Okay, cool. And Ondas pulling back here pretty big, down 8.75%. A lot of weakness here in Ondas today. See, let's take a look here at the chart. Looks like this is coming back into its 50 here. We'll see if it holds. Remember, it just tested the 50 and bounced. More weakness here today. Ondas. This is actually kind of low volume too, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, trades about 103 million shares a day. It's only done 16 here today, down 9%.
ELPW getting support from BWAP, trying to turn back up. I think the resistance it's going to face is going to be around 215. If it can get through that, I think we see 250.
Yeah, and James here, this is a good comment, just at least worth discussing here. James saying, I've been charting for a long time and agree with most of what you guys say, but I do not just day trade. Neither do we, by the way. Right. It's just day trading. There's new content every day, so we try to focus on that, but we're in the same boat that you are. I try to be versatile. That's the way to go. I think we comment on that all of the time. I don't just go by the charts, and that's something else. I generally don't just go by the charts too, but I'll tell you what, the technicals have really been good for us recently. How many times have we talked about these trend lines really showing where targets are, reversal points are, and all of that? So it's one of those things where if it's working, we're going to keep doing it. But you're absolutely right. There's more things that factor into this, and we discuss and listen to those things all of the time.
It's why we cover like the financials and the news it's having or recent filings.
Right.
There was one
insider buys. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one that we talked about last week, and I said this is this might go to 150, and it was like one of those junky stocks, but because they were looking to I forget, it was like a buy. There was these share purchases or something at 150. But it was in a filing, and it ended up going there that day. So you're right. It's not just about the charts. They're very helpful, but it always is worth reading into the news and looking at their financials before you start taking a trade, so you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah. Okay. Really good stuff. Sell-off extending here, by the way. NASDAQ leading the way down. The Qs here. The NASDAQ future /NQ down 1.27%. I'm going to pull up SPY here. We'll take a look at the SPY. That's also pulling back. One of the things that we had said about a potential key level here is if we continue to sell off, watch yesterday's intraday low. That's down here at about 685. We're 2 points away from that. So we'll see if SPY firms up here at all. But so far, weakness out of the gate across the board.
Look at okay, so here we go with Boxlight. We're trying to chew through these sellers. And also RGTZ has been ripping this morning, looking really good there with that one.
Yeah, this Boxlight was pretty good. How did we do on apps, by the way?
That's
hey, look, it's almost as if apps stopped right at its resistance level at VWAP. That's why that was a sell point.
Boxlight trying to get through some sellers here. 195 is the one it's chewing through at the moment. EVTD still dealing with that trend line. feed back to bleed. That's
Feed is back to bleed. Yikes.
That's coming back to its 200 EMA. Man, RGTZ has been great this morning. Yesterday we hit a high of 29.30. We're at we already hit 29.15. Look at that move.
Yeah, this was a really good mention. I'll tell you what, should probably just check in on these. Just add them to a watch list and just roll through them every morning, because these do, when they start moving like this and days like, and they work in both directions, and days like this, these are really good moves and great for trading. I wasn't prepared for these.
I mean, I think we can safely say that Rigetti is going to be a single digit stock. We're a double digit right now. I think this give it enough time. It's probably going to have some back and forth, but this is probably going to come back down to the single digits. So it's always going to be worth looking at RGTZ for a day trade.
And then as far as day trading, I know we're talking a little bit about Palantir here. Here's PLTZ. This is another one that's been pretty good for trading Palantir to the downside. Solar getting another mention here in the chat. That's been great. Look at ENPH.
Okay.
Actually, this is actually not a terrible setup. So impulse move, pull back to the VWAP. So far, we've held this VWAP at 50.13, current price at 50.50. So not a terrible setup here if you think this can break 52 to the upside.
Palantir coming down to one of my levels here, 142. This is an area I put down from the August 20th low. I think this is going to be an area where we could see some support briefly before we fall through it. I still like 120 as a stronger support area, and then 90 after that.
Okay. Boy, this 120, I actually think maybe 125, but right in there, 120 to 125.13. That looks really sticky.
And then Jay's mentioning that Rigetti going back to 10. You don't think lower? I think a little bit lower than that.
Okay. Palantir, let me go back to the main chart here. We see a lot of weakness out there still.
Box light still climbing up, looking to clear the pre-market high of 212. Hasn't quite got up there. 207 is the high of the regular session, but it hasn't come back in yet.
Really quick here, AMD CEO Lisa Su said AI is accelerating at a rate I did not imagine.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, that's just directly from the extensive interview that they had there. It's okay, Matthew, you're good.
No, Matthew, I know you were saying 120ish, and we talked about this earlier. I think that's just going to be a brief support area. I still think we could go lower. $90 is where I'm looking at.
SOXS, this is going to be that direction bear semiconductor ETF. I know it's super cheap. This actually at the top of the scanner here today, trading on really high volume because it's so cheap.
ELPW still getting support from VWAP, trying to push up now. Maybe we start taking out some of these sellers. There's one in the way right now. It's got a large amount of shares just hanging out there at 215.
Google down 1% ahead of its earnings here today. Anyone got any gut feeling on Google? I think they put up a good number. I just wonder if they trade like AMD after it.
Probably. I mean, it's run into its earnings. We just hit about 350.
Guys, this is why you have stops, and this is why you sell partial. Look at this apps. Great bounce call on apps here. Went right to the VWAP, and again, not to overuse his name, but it is if Dikembe Mutombo himself were sitting right there. This thing got swatted right back down. So apps on the back of its earnings only up about 6% now. That trade is over and closed out.
Lots of weakness happening right now. Not in ELPW, but in all the other names we were looking at. Actually, CIGL. This one's trying to turn around and recapture VWAP. Not sure if it's going to have the volume to do that. If it does, you have resistance around 360, 365.
Okay.
Getting a little pullback here in RGTZ.
Is anyone trading the GameStop move by chance? I know there's been news here recently.
GameStop. What were they buying? I thought they were acquiring something, or they were talking about it, right? Because they have a lot of cash, right?
Yeah. So GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen targets $100 billion valuation with a big acquisition planned. But I think it's just kind of mysterious at this point. I'm just wondering if anyone's trading GME here. Qualcomm, bunch of Qualcomm sweeps coming across the wire. These look like these are just multi-part, or multiple parts of a bigger sweep, I would guess. 160 looks to be the expiry. It's February 29th. Sorry. 160 seems to be the strike price. February 29th is your expiry on here. Qualcomm up 2.3%. This too bucking the NASDAQ.
So good point about AMD. We are actually snapping a uptrend today. And so you're looking at what, 160 to 180-ish? Yeah, I could see 180. And I could also see 160 if we're going to, fill that gap. A lot of these semiconductor names, they all have these gaps, not necessarily semiconductor, but, the Mag 7, all the big AI names to have this gap that they're all filling. Microsoft, filling theirs. Oracle had one. I think Broadcom has one, and AMD also has one. So we could fill those gaps, and if we do, we're going to see. I think that goes down to 170 and change for AMD. I also have a line out here for 162.30. I have to go back and see what that's from, but yeah, I agree that I think that with the snap of this uptrend line, we're going to probably see some of those lower prints under 200.
Really quickly here on Qualcomm, we talked about this being up 2.25% here. They report earnings after hours today. We're actually doing the conference call, their earnings call here on our channel. So if you're interested in Qualcomm, be sure to check that out later. I'm sure we'll cover Qualcomm tomorrow as well.
EBTV hammered down, lost the 65 EMA and the 200 EMA. This thing giving everything back. So that trend line was more of a point of rejection, not so much a breakout.
Moo Tumbo. Same deal, by the way, on apps.
Which one's going to break down next? Maybe, well, we've already gotten some breakdown here on feed.
Hey, look at this. Microsoft showing some relative strength against the pullback here in tech. Microsoft holding the low that it put in yesterday or thereabouts. I've got that low down here at 410. Microsoft actually bouncing here. This is not terrible. Tesla, new lows. Ondas, new lows. Apple pulled off that 278, 279 area on that pump higher. Actually saw some puts getting bought into that move too. Looks like it's turning around here.
If there's still more downside in Microsoft, there's not a whole lot more left.
I mean, the action here today, it looks like it's trying to carve the bottom out here.
Mm-hmm.
EGHT getting mentioned here. Sorry, I didn't go to this the first time. This was a really good mention. So you had that impulse move, VWAP hold. Now it's trying to punch higher here. 240 looks to be the next spot. No position for me on this one, unfortunately.
So this one climbing over the 500-day SMA.
EGHT?
Yeah. Something that hasn't, it's only done once, and it's actually almost on at its anniversary for clearing the 500-day SMA. Didn't spend a whole lot of time up here, so take that how you will. But this hasn't had a whole lot of interaction with the 500 since 2021. So interesting to see if we can start holding and trading above that. I don't know. I don't know anything about 8 by 8. So I'm not sure what this is all about, but just something that stands out here with this this chart.
8x8 provides contact center as a service and unified communications as a service software applications to approximately 2.5 users. Unified platforms enables omni-channel communications to assist employees in communicating across voice, video, text, chat, and contact centers. Company generates its revenue from sales of hardware and professional services, which are complementary to the delivery of its integrated technology platform. Geographically, it derives most of its revenue from the United States. 8x8. So that's a software name that's actually doing pretty well here today. Little guy. Market cap on this company, 230 million going into today.
Feed getting a bounce off the 200 EMA, trying to recapture the 65. Box light starting to put in a series of upper shadows that might not be too great here. If we can hold above the VWAP, we might get another chance at pushing through the pre-market high of 212. But got to hold that VWAP.
James asking, what do you guys think of Wendy's? The food itself, I don't really care much for fast food. I'm really trying to eliminate that entirely. But of all of them, Wendy's still my favorite. The best nugs out there. Stock's actually up here 3.3%. I don't know if I like buying this and holding any of this. My last experience trading a restaurant stock was really bad. So I'm kind of off this. I know Cava was really good, but that was kind of short-lived.
This might be a really good short squeeze play.
ENPH almost back up to the breakout level there at 52.50. Okay, what do you got here on Wendy's just because the short interest is high?
It's exceedingly high. It's right within our parameters.
51% of the float shorted here. That is definitely reaches our parameter, and our days to cover here I've got at 5.87. So indeed, high short interest on both of our metrics.
Yeah. When do they have earnings?
Earnings is in 9 days. It's going to be after the market on before the market opens on Friday the 13th.
This is oh great. That's going to be an interesting day for stocks.
Sure is.
Yeah, so
Wendy's fun yet?
Yeah. No, so okay, so seriously, Wendy's may be a very interesting short squeeze play. I don't know how it's going to be triggered. It might be from earnings or a lead up into earnings. You can see from the chart that we've slowed down the selling and it started to go sideways. So that's a good sign that there's some turnaround trying to happen here. I don't know what's going to be the catalyst, but keep this on your radar for a potential short squeeze play. It's really got a great amount of short interest with days to cover, right? Exactly what we're looking for.
I feel like just kind of looking at the downtrend here, I feel like this is going to need something to shock people into buying it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know what the catalyst is going to be.
I'm with you.
Something's going to probably jolt a lot of these restaurant names. Maybe it's cheaper to start go and get fast food, or maybe they start introducing more kiosks to reduce the human presence. I don't know. I'm just
the one thing I will say is that the last time I went to Wendy's, they had some type of AI ordering. It wasn't the person; it was a total computer. And I got to be honest with you, it was one of the more accurate fast food orders I've done in probably 10 years. It shows you what you're saying right there on the board. It's very, very sharp. It detects it. So I don't, maybe that's able to reduce headcount there. And guys, Ondas pounding new lows. Zach, looking at you. Stop selling, you animal. Stop selling Ondas today. Stock is down almost 11% now. Haven't you guys had enough?
So hopefully, James, that gives you a little bit of insight there into Wendy's. 15% of the float shorted, Joe? I'm not seeing that.
50.
Yeah, it's 51.4% with 5.87 days to cover. Now, when do we get a new update on the short interest? I think that's soon, isn't it? Like very soon. Because the most recent one was from back in January.
Yeah, January 12th. Yeah, so we are due for one here. And actually, are they all January 12th? Let me check like Palantir, like a big stock here. Let's make sure. Yeah, January 12th. Looking at the calendar here. Oh gosh, we should have got one on January 26th. Let me screenshot this. Let me see if we can do that. We should have an update here on that short interest.
So you might be right, Joe, if that's the case. If we just don't have an updated short interest here, but to go from 51 to 15, I don't know if that's what we're going to end up seeing here. We'll get an update on this for you. ELPW just lost VWAP in a massive way. It's getting walked down. Boxlight, on the other hand, this is pushing up, about to press into the pre-market highs. Apps still weak. EVTV still trying to turn around, recapture that 200. And RGTZ might put in a new session high as well.
Interestingly enough, I know some of these individual names that we're looking at are getting Fargoed here, but when we take a look at the SPY, this actually held in. Now, day's not over, so maybe we do inevitably test that 684, but on this way down, we've bounced once here. NASDAQ or the Qs have done the same thing. So again, maybe not over yet. Qs actually look worse than the SPY chart does. Can you guys take a look at Carvana? Yeah, how did that do after that short report?
Well, it's down another 7% today. This thing's coming to the 200-day SMA, I think. We're almost there anyway.
Okay, so here's the Carvana chart. So this is when we got that short report. Really sent this thing down. It looks like we bounced off of the 100 and now we're kind of retesting that level. Actually, we broke through that. I beg your pardon. That 100-day was at 388, current price 384. I got the 200 here at 356. I would imagine this is next. Last time we tested the 200, we bounced here. So, John, what's your thought here on Carvana? First of all, are you short? Are you looking for a long position? What's your thought here on Carvana? Sure looks like next spot down here, 356. Market Sniper saying, actually, I'm thinking about buying my next car from Carvana. Has anyone used them? You know, Market Sniper, I think that I've asked this before to the group, and I actually think we got a pretty good report, if I recall correctly.
I don't like the double top in Carvana.
Neither do I. I don't
think,
like the fact that it's, you know, given up this topside trend line that we've had here.
So I think what I would be looking at here for Carvana is this coming back to the 200-day SMA. Not sure that's going to hold up. If it does and we reverse, well, then great. But if it doesn't and we start to break down even more, I think the where you might get support or where the bottom could be is maybe going to be down around 280.
Wow. Okay.
275, 280.
So John says looking for a long here. So I would say watch what happens at the 200-day there at 356, but 13's giving you 280 possibly. That's like down from the lows from November.
Yeah.
That would be your next possible support there. Robot to Trade says I had a good experience of selling my cars to Carvana. I'm not here to argue facts, says I might sell to Carvana, but I wouldn't buy from them. Yeah, Jay here saying as far as the Carvana stock goes, it's not the greatest market for this stock because they want cheaper names. They want value. And Carvana is not that.
I think Boxlight might hit our trend line.
Okay, let me go back to the main workspace here. And really quickly here, Anil's asking Ondas, what's the good entry there? So I've got the 50-day moving average. I know I just shifted away from the bigger chart there. 50-day moving average is at 1024. We're currently at 1010. So let's wait and see how today finishes here. I think if we hold that 50, that's encouraging. The last time we came in here, we actually bounced $1 from that area. So maybe we do that again. The key level here that I'd be looking at, just to reiterate there, 1024. We want to see a close above that. I'm not in a hurry to buy Ondas here, though, and I would probably, if I did buy some there, I'd probably go the call route as opposed to just adding stock and messing up my 89-cent cost basis. Here we go. Dar saying, I just bought a Jeep from Carvana, no hassle, easy to pick up or get delivered, and best of all, no salesperson.
You gonna go to Boxlight?
Oh, gosh, sorry. 13's like, I'm just waiting for you. It's making a move here. It's literally doing it, and you're ignoring it, you dummy.
Almost to that trend line. Awesome.
And
I don't know if we're going to hit it, but hey, you almost got to it. What's up?
We talked about volume telling the story. The expanding volume is what you got here on this move away from VWAP. Boy, it looked like each consecutive candle, except for the one selling candle on this 5-minute chart, showed you that expanding volume. And this is, I would still say, our target there, 244.
Yeah, this move here, I don't know. This might be the move we were waiting for, but we could still get one more candle that ticks up to the trend line. Either way, if this is something you were trading since we opened, this is the kind of move I think you probably want to sell into. You decide, but great stuff here with Boxlight. Glad it worked out. We're also getting some turnaround here and some other names as well.
Yeah, turnaround here in ServiceNow. So we talked a little bit about those software names. ServiceNow has actually gone red to green. Let's check in on a couple of those others that have been weak here today. Oh my, CRM. Possible red to green move here. This is only down by 0.2% now. How's Microsoft hanging in there? Guys, Microsoft red to green, 1.7% to the upside. Maybe software bottoming out here today, or at least in the short term. NASDAQ is bouncing. SPY is bouncing. Are we having fun yet, folks?
You know, I wasn't really anticipating too many big moves today, but here we are. This is you know, I mean, as far as the movers go, I was looking at the list earlier and I was like, it might not be one of those better days, but still ended up being a pretty good day.
ENPH, right back up to those highs. We talked about this impulse move, pull back down to the VWAP. Textbook hold right there, 2 points higher now, looking like this is trying to break out. If you took the trade off the VWAP here, this is definitely area one to book some of those. We'll see if we get a pop to new highs here. ENPH, Enphase, that's on the back of its earnings yesterday. Stock is up 40.5%. How's TAN doing, by the way? We're talking a lot about solar here. What's that solar ETF doing here today? This actually right at the VWAP, so plus 5%. This actually looks like this might try and go higher too. TAN has made an unbelievable move since 30. Let's go, Michael. Good stuff there on Microsoft. Let me ask you, do you just like the stock? What caused you to buy that? What was the trigger there? Again, just kind of thinking back to Mark Petrino's criteria when you're looking at a trade and a new entry. What was your trigger to jump in on Microsoft when you did?
Did the market start turning around as soon as we got PMI? Seems like it
9 o'clock is when it turned around.
Oh, was it 9? Well, I mean, 9 o'clock for
sorry. So 10. Yeah. So yeah, and that's when we got it. Yeah. ISM non-manufacturing prices for January, 66.6 versus the 65.1 prior read. ISM non-manufacturing PMI for January, 53.8 versus the 53.5 estimate. So yeah, it does. Just based on the timing, yes, 13, it does look like it did that.
Yeah, because when I was looking at all these and they were all kind of turning around at the same time, I was like, did some news drop or something? And of course, you had the PMI. That makes sense. Another strong day with the divvy stocks. Yeah, they're doing really good. I like it. Well,
any winner that I've made, I've actually added a little bit to some of the dividend stocks with a focus on Starwood, STWD.
Well, you know, lower rates have you know, begun to give them a lift, and now that I think that we've got an idea that we're not going to be seeing rate cuts for a little while now. We got the rates that we've got, and there's a lot of really attractive names that are still paying out pretty high amounts of dividend. Like I think UPS is still really elevated despite having its this turnaround here that's been taking it up since October.
Are we finally getting our bounce from $80 here on Netflix, folks? I know 13, we've talked about a potential lower level than 80, but it sure looks like 80 bouncing that stock here today.
Well, I think you are going to get bounces. I mean, look, this thing is super oversold, so I think you are going to see bounces. But until we clear that 20-day SMA for a sustained period of time, I don't know that we're done selling yet. I mean, we could rebound for a little bit, maybe even see 90 again, but nothing's really changed.
All right. 13, we got 2 minutes till the story trading guys are going to absolutely crush it here. Let's go ahead and review a couple of the stocks from the movers. I know the movers list was not great here today, but you folks still made the most of it. Slab, there was no trade here. This was the takeover. ELPW, this was another one. This gave a pretty nice move right out of the gate. Grats to anyone that hit this one. I didn't trade this myself. This retraced about 50% of the move. This is also the top of the impulse candle, so maybe this gets going, but like we just talked about in Boxlight, it's going to need volume, and it's going to need to see that volume expand. And right now, we're not seeing that. 13, anything here on ELPW?
ELPW, this looks like it's got a bit of a bearish pattern forming in the past 15 minutes. So it looks like it's going to have trouble trying to recapture the VWAP. And if that's the case, I do think this ends up going lower. I think a 65 EMA visit is going to be coming soon if this cannot recapture VWAP in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, ELPW, good stuff there. Next, I've got CIGL. By the way, Besant testifying in front of the House Financial Services Committee. I don't know if we're going to expect anything out, but that's ongoing right now. CIGL was another mover here. This thing was just a sad trombone, just straight down out of the gate. Really has shown nothing here.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to come back down to where the impulse move started. So I'd think that maybe at the earliest support, you're going to see 290, but it looks more like 275 is where there's some stronger support. So wouldn't be surprised if this continues to leak down into that area.
Okay, next here is going to be Feed. This has fed our group a number of times here this week. Not so much here today. Did bounce a little bit off that 200 EMA. Volume looks like it's compressing here. This is, 3 days after that big move here. So this might be done here. You got anything on Feed?
I'm not necessarily convinced that this is finished. It's trying to, recapture the 65 EMA. It's trying to get back above some of these smaller EMAs. It hasn't gone back above VWAP yet, which I have at 330. But I think that you might see this try to come back up to about 320, 325. That's where I see some of the biggest resistance from right here. So from between here and 325, I think you're going to get your resistance. If we get through that, maybe there's a recapture of VWAP coming, but this is going to be one of those that's going to need a lot of volume. Large seller in a way at 330.
Okay. Real quick here, apps. This is Digital Turbine. This was moving on the back of its earnings. This actually did give us a trade earlier, but has really started to probe some of these lower levels. Maybe if it holds this low, volume is less than impressive. We'll see if this can turn around here. One more 13, then we got to get out of here, and it's Boxlight. What do you got for us?
Boxlight, we almost hit that trend line. We saw that. I was mentioning that into this strength, we kind of want to, sell into this. So don't know if we're going to get another good move that's going to take us back up there. We would have to get support right about here where we're at, just above the VWAP here. So if we lose this, then I think we come back down to 185. But if we can hold VWAP, we might get another shot at taking a hit at that trend line up there.
Okay, really good stuff. 13, before we get out of here, I want to address this. James, one of our newer members here. 13, I like and appreciate any input and did not mean what I said in a bad way. I agree with your levels on Palantir. I just think the pressure from AI and CEO ego will not allow it. Go ahead, 13.
No, it's fine. And I didn't take it that way. I was mostly agreeing with you on that. And I think I'm just adding a little bit of my own commentary. But when it comes to Palantir, this thing has been so extended. I think that, and I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying there, but I just feel like we're going to see a lot of downside pressure, and it's going to hit a lot of these different names, including Palantir.
And more broadly, when you have differing opinions, we want that here on the show. We don't want a bunch of people that just simply agree with each other. Disagreement, different things that you're seeing out there, different spots on the chart that makes us all better. Don't run from it. It's a safe space here for that. Yep. No one's going to criticize you. 13, really good stuff here today. Any closing words for the group?
Folks, another wonderful day with y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. It'll be another fun time. Just make sure you have that capital ready, because I think there's going to be some more movers. So until then, folks, take care. Enjoy T3. Bye-bye.
All right. T3. It's story trading.
Oh, story trading. I'm sorry. Enjoy story trading. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Take care, 13. And as 13 mentioned, his departure leaves room for the story trading group. Let's go ahead and bring on Ben and Rhett. How you guys doing today?
So far, so good for me. I luckily.
Oh, really? You're doing good. Not me.
Uh-oh.
Not me.
Not Ben. I have 100% confidence in you, Ben. I am sure that you're going to turn that around. What do you got for us?
All right. Laptop's not making it today, right?
No, he can't.
Okay.
Due to his
Hey,
family
has
members.
anyone heard from the Godfather and his globetrotting expedition?
Yeah,
He's
every
killing
once
it.
in a while.
Is he doing good?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
doing
doing
great.
amazing. He's
He's
enjoying
living it
life.
up. His enjoying life is up like 300% in a month. Not over trading, just leaving his swinging. So yeah, he's killing it.
That's really good to hear. Can't wait to have him back. All right, guys, have fun.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Ryan.
All right. Well, glad to see, Rhett, that somehow you did okay, I guess, by shorting the Qs at some point. I didn't do that. I'm getting destroyed right now. I did preserve some capital. I cut a lot of things that weren't working, but I kept ONDS, unfortunately. Damn. And I kept apps, and they're both at the lows. These two I kept, but I took losses on Arcad and I took losses on Redwire and Arcat. We're crashing right now, by the way. More lows, but this is look. I mean, this doesn't bother me, and this is not a big deal to me. Looking at the QQQ, all right, dropping a little bit. Not a big deal. SPY above the 50 DMA. IWM's okay. The thing that has really surprised me and wasn't ready for, I didn't expect, is the sell-off in defense tech today. I don't get this. I'm not sure where this is coming from. We had so many positive catalysts in this week in defense tech. With the budget being resolved, and then Department of War inviting Arcad and Katos and a partner of ONDS to phase 1 of the drone dominance program. And then we have Iran tension. I don't know. Is it because Iran tension is subsiding? Is that why defense tech decided to crash? But it's not just defense tech. It's all the government-backed sectors, which I did not predict, Rhett. Look at space, down 11%, 10%, 12%.
Yeah, I'm taking a big hit today on my retirement account.
Let's look at rare earths, down again, 10. I don't know where this is coming from, because I thought these sectors would bounce, and they initially did yesterday. This made it really confusing, because yesterday when the budget was passed, all of these government-backed sectors exploded, including uranium, into the afternoon. And I thought we were going to see a continuation of that today. And instead, they're all selling off about 10% on average. That's a massive hit. I don't know where that came from, Rhett. Do you know what happened here in these sectors?
No, I have no idea. I kind of got blindsided by this because I was swinging a lot of stuff, like my retirement account. It's also like a swing account because my day trade account, I try to be cash by end of day.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm swinging positions like that, I do swing those there, and I'm taking it off the chin today.
Yeah. So look, I'm like a deer in the headlight in those. Like something like Mew, that's fine. And actually, yesterday I even predicted that this may be coming on Mew. A move to the 20 DMA. I did suggest that maybe the 20 DMA would move up and it would meet there, but to see it come down, it's not a major surprise, and it needs a pullback. So like a move like this doesn't bother me, doesn't surprise me. What's going on with defense tech and uranium and rare earths today? Total surprise for me. I'm like a deer in the headlights. I'm getting absolutely smashed right now. And I was heavy in those defense tech names this morning. I also sold AVAP for a loss. Man, I had a whole bunch of drone and defense tech names this morning that I thought were going to explode, and obviously they didn't.
Yeah, but I will say, if we drop any more in some of these names like Redwire, I think I'm definitely going to be another step in as a buyer in around the 9 area for Redwire.
Let's look up Redwire. Redwire is at 10. I don't know, man. Right? Like I look at this. I sold the Redwire because you're below the 200 DMA. I don't know. When I see this, I think you got risk down to 950 is the next support area, and then you have 9, and then you have the ascending 50 moving average. All those 3 to me are in play. Probably this ascending 50 will come to meet the 9, so I don't think you have to worry about 874. But I think 950 and 9 are in play on Redwire. Again, from a sentiment, money flow perspective, I don't understand why this is happening. From a technical perspective, I see more downside potentially, even on Redwire. Pretty painful. Pretty painful here this morning. There are pockets of strength. I threw them at the top. UNG, I made a little money on overnight. Enphase, watching it, but I missed this whole thing. And GameStop moving today, and Apple, I missed that. I saw Dougie Fresh nailed that this morning. But I'm playing in these neighborhoods down here in these trendy sectors, and wow, really taking off guard. Oh, I'm still in Grawl, which didn't work. So Hims had a deal to do cancer detection. Not surprised at the him sell off, but Grawl I thought could do well on this, and it hasn't. I may have to take my loss on that. This is brutal, right? This is brutal. Took a loss on Intel. Took a lot of losses today. Today's probably my worst day of the year. I'm not even looking at my account value right now. But again, AVAV was one of the ones I had to cut for a loss earlier. Oh my God, even oil just dropped, and I carried oil overnight.
Yeah, same with gold. Gold made a new low just a few minutes ago.
Oh, I don't know what's going on.
GLD.
QQQ spike, USO drop. I don't know. Maybe some positive Iran news. I don't know what's going on here. GME's moving up, but
We were expecting something. I think it was with the EU coming out with tariffs or something, if I'm not mistaken. I saw some of those headlines come out a little bit ago.
something may have just happened. Something may have just happened to hopefully give us a bottom for the day. I don't know. I sold my AMPX for a loss earlier today. I got back in here. I thought it was breaking out. Sold it here for a loss. I'm thinking about getting back in again, trying to find the bottom in AMPX. Of course, this is my biggest winner of the year. I have a $16 price target on it, but I'm currently out. Sold most of everything yesterday, but got back in this morning. It's just that
You're
did not
very
work
hesitant
out.
on the show this morning. I
was extremely
very
hesitant,
worried.
and I guess that should have been a clue. It was for you, right? Because you went for those puts because of my hesitation.
Well, it was the Qs couldn't get above that one key level that I was watching, so I was like, I might as well. But they initially went against me, and I thought I was wrong. But it was pure technical play, but it ended up working out for me.
Yeah, I had a very hard time on the pre-market show this morning. I didn't like anything after I picked a bunch of stocks for the day at 6:30 in the morning. I came on the show and I'm like, I don't like this pre-market action. It's very, very suspicious. I'm like, why aren't the drone and defense tech stocks up sharply this morning? It doesn't make sense to me. And I was worried that something was up, but I didn't sell. I didn't take action, and I guess I should have, because we got absolutely clobbered. It's looking like I don't know. Maybe the bottom's in. Hopefully the bottom's in for the day. But I don't know. I got 2 earnings reports that I'm really interested in today. That's Snap after hours tonight and Burna tomorrow morning. I have call options in Snap, and I have the big position in Burna, both common shares and call options. So I'm going to reduce Burna before the close and probably just carry the call options into the earnings report and not the common shares.
Wow, look at this V-shaped recovery. Someone's pointing this out. I've never heard of this company before. The ticker's team, TEAM. Check that out.
Have you you don't know TEAM or TEAM?
TEAM, sorry.
No, I don't know TEAM either. Yeah, I don't know what this is. $128 billion company, Atlassian Corporation, team collaboration. Oh, I think I've used some of their products before. Years ago when I had a real job.
This chart has been beaten up.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not really looking for new names right now. But hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully the bottom's in. I mean, this is pretty insane what we're seeing in those government. Let's call those government-backed sectors, right? Like I said, defense tech and critical minerals and nuclear and space. What the hell happened, Rhett? I don't know. I'm still just like a deer in the headlights trying to figure out what happened with those sectors today. You have no idea? Who has an idea? If you have an idea or a thesis, yeah. If anyone has a thesis of why those government-backed sectors absolutely imploded after the budget passed, which should have been a positive catalyst, and after we got that phase 1 invite for the drone dominance program, if you understand why this happened, please put it in the chat. I'd like to hear your thesis. I I'm very rarely lost about price action. I pretty much always understand what's going on, even if I'm late to capitalizing on it. At least I understand the price action. But today I am at a complete loss right now. Maybe it's because I haven't been on X all morning. If I've been on X all morning, I probably would have an answer for you. But I have not even opened my X app yet today. Aside from to write the morning note this morning. I don't know if something happened between 6:30 a.m. and the open. But if someone knows something, please let me know. So it's I don't know what to tell you right now, guys. It's let me just check our catalyst this morning. I got to check into the app catalyst. I don't know what that was about. Did they report earnings? They must have had earnings. I didn't have that on my list. We talk about the HIMS Grawl catalyst, NRGV. We're going to learn about CDZI this afternoon. If you're interested, follow us on X. We're going to have some content for you on CDZI at around 1:30 p.m. Actually, we're going to be live trading from 1:30 to 5 if you're interested. So make sure to follow us on X, but come to Benzinga first. If you don't like the Benzinga program, you can come to us, but Benzinga comes first here. So check their programming out from 1:30. When are we going live? 1:30?
2:30. 2:30.
Oh, we're doing live trading for 2.5 hours this afternoon. 2:30 to 5. We cover a bunch of earnings, or we want to cover in after hours as well, including Snap. Lots of earnings reports after hours. We have. Let me pull up my morning note here. We got today Google, Wolf, Qualcomm, ARM. That's an interesting one. Snap, Symbiotic is great, and Elf is interesting. And then tomorrow morning, Berna, HII, Rock, Goose, BMIC, or Peloton. It's underlined ones, so the ones I'm more interested in. So, yeah, so we'll be live trading around all those earnings reports this afternoon. Wow. I just don't know what to say, Brett.
Commented with
What's that?
China's president. I have completed an excellent telephone conversation with the president of China. Call included trade, military, the April trip that I will be making to China, which I look forward to, Taiwan, the war between Russia, Ukraine, the current state situation, Iran, oil, gas, soybeans.
AMPX back above this 50. So I just added more like 5 minutes ago. I think I'm adding more here because I have a $16 price target on this.
He said he's ending it with this. I believe that there will be many positive results achieved over the next 3 years during my presidency. President. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just noise to me. I don't think that has anything to do with the market today.
Well, nothing too significant out of that. I mean, he's put out something like that before, hasn't he?
Candle here. What's that?
He's put out something like that before in a tweet, I thought.
I don't know. I mean, anything with China, it's just noise at this point.
Yeah, until it actually follows through.
So I'm pretty useless today, to tell you the truth. I mean, as you can see, the only things I've done here is I've kept, unfortunately, and maybe I should have taken the loss on ONDS and apps, and maybe I should have taken the loss on apps. There you go. This is not helping me. These are the two that I've kept. Took losses on everything else relatively early. And I'm carrying some Snap and Burna into earnings. I mean, Rhett, I'm at a loss for words. What do the comments say?
I'm looking here. Someone's buying gold. Apple's curling back up. This one may be interesting, guys. I think this could continue to run right here. Apple, we're seeing momentum. There's news out today. Ben, what was that news? But also, I think what we're seeing this move too is that Claude bot. Everyone's been flocking to the Apple stores to pick these Mac Minis up because you can have your own AI assistant. I was actually looking at setting.
I actually don't understand that whole. I don't understand that whole story yet. What's the relationship with the Mac? Why do I need a Mac Mini?
I mean, you can run it on any, but people are choosing the internet's going crazy over using a Mac Mini because
Why?
they're doing that and they're just giving it access to their whole computer. So they're like setting up a whole new separate computer and they're giving it access and it's its own AI like personal assistant. Like it'll text for you, like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
so I'm not caught up with that story. That's why I missed the move in Apple. I did see someone demonstrate that now that you mention it a couple nights ago.
But yeah, so if
Um,
you type in like the chat or whatever, like say if I want to look up Story Trading's latest tweet, if you watch it on the monitor, you'll watch it literally pull it up for you and everything. It's wild.
yeah, I saw someone demoing that. So that was a catalyst for Mac Minis and Apple going up today?
I mean that's been happening. I mean it's taken
Really?
over the internet. Every time I
Really?
log in to social medias, no matter what it
Wow.
is, that's all I'm seeing right now.
So I'm out of
But
that
that
loop for
started a
some
few days
reason.
ago. That started probably on the I would say this move on 2/2 is when I really started to see it. On
Wow.
social media, which you
So
can see.
all right, there
There's
was a
also
theme
other
here.
catalysts.
So this wasn't just technicals. There was a theme here. I totally missed this for some reason. I did not see it as much as you. I guess my news feed. You must have. I don't know. I saw it here and there, but nothing to the extent that you're talking about. So I kind of missed that theme. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't, because that's something important that should have been covered in my morning newsletter. So I did miss that. Um, I was aware about the sell off in AI software names with these cloud agents. I got that, but I didn't know about that extension into Mac Mini demand and how that translates into Apple. I didn't know about that connection. Good to know. There's always a reason, right? There's always a reason. It's not random. There's always people behind these decisions. And even the algos are coded by people. They hit certain programming based on catalysts. So there's always a reason why the stocks go up and down. Always. That's what we strive to do at story trading, is to understand that and be ahead of the technical moves by first understanding the stories and the catalysts, which change the narratives, which in turn change the technicals. That's where you want to be. That's the cutting edge of it, which I don't understand. I don't know, I'm gonna go on my soapbox, but you know, I don't know. To me, technicals is just mostly gambling and trying to infer stuff secondhand, and at best that's like 50-50 if you ask me. If you want to be on the leading edge of things that move markets, you have to be looking at catalysts in your news feed, not charts. That's where it starts, and that's what impacts the charts. So that's how we do it at story trading. We usually do it pretty well. I just missed this one Apple story. And I still deer in the headlights on what's going on with these the sectors, the government backed sectors, which just suddenly imploded today. There's got to be a reason for it. There's got to be a reason for it. Maybe it's something in the budget. I don't know. Maybe there's some disappointment in the amount of money going to, or policy related to critical metals or drones. There's definitely a reason why this sell off started. It's not random. It's not algos. It's real reasons. It's real catalysts causing real people to make decisions to sell off those sectors, and I just don't have the answer for you yet as to why.
What are your thoughts on AMD after that earnings? I don't think we talked about that.
Yeah, I talked about it last night, and I put it in the morning note. Oh, just looking at Mew's heading to that. I warned about this yesterday. It's heading right there. So we got to keep this up there, because I think Mew at the 20 DMA is going to be interesting. It might happen today. Mew at the 20 DMA 380 or $6 away. Keep that, right? We might have to buy some Mew at 380 today.
Yeah, definitely. I'll probably look to pick up calls. I mean, we're down almost 8% here.
Yeah, if you do that, let me know. AMD, look, I don't know the story as well. I don't follow it. I have a little bit in my retirement account. It was a modest beat. I just don't think the beat was big enough. A lot more is built into this because of the beats we're used to on, like, especially in the memory sector. And then you get like a modest beat. You're like, what's that? Like, that's nothing. I think that's what that's about. Just sell the news on a modest beat, and then you have the technical support here coming in at around $200 at this point. I thought maybe this 50 DMA would hold last night. It didn't. Thankfully, I didn't play it. But at this point, it looks like you can make a move towards 200, and then the RSI will be nice and reset at 200.
Wow.
What's
There's
that?
a lot of questions in here now. I guess my thing wasn't loading whenever. All right, here we go. There's a lot of stuff that came in here.
Wow. Look at that. Apple looks really strong actually right here.
Market, defense, gold. Someone's saying, Ben, DHS was only passed 2 weeks. The rest of the bill was passed, but not DHS.
I don't know what DHS. What's DHS? Someone tell me what DHS.
Sure.
Apple looks really good. Wow. Now that I know the catalyst driving Apple, I'm more interested in looking at the chart. Before, when I didn't understand it, I'm like, okay, I'm not looking at that chart. But now I understand.
Asking
Department of Homeland Security.
what happened to
DHS.
Bull.
I mean, I put that in the newsletter this morning. Well, why would that? The immigration stuff was not passed. Like, wait, so what? Like, why is that taking drones down? I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, then someone's asking about what's up with Bull. I mean, if you look, Bull and Hood are on the same charts right now. Crypto
Yeah, we covered
a
this.
major effect on that.
We covered this extensively yesterday. Bull is moving down with Robinhood, which is moving down with crypto. I get it, by the way, why it's impacting Robinhood, but I think if Robinhood sees a fundamental hit because of what's going on with crypto, I don't think it's going to hurt Bull as much as Robinhood. I just don't think. I think Bull customers are much more sophisticated, and they're trading many more things than just crypto. So I don't think the average Bull trader is going to get wiped out with crypto getting wiped out, but many Robinhood traders could. So that's why Robinhood's going down and Bull's going down with it. But I think you could see a surprise when Bull reports, and when Bull and Hood report. I think you could see relative outperformance with Bull compared to Hood, continuing that trend we saw last quarter. So this has been initially it worked out our trade, and then it just failed on us. So this has been really our only major mistake of so far of 2026. We thought this would be up and to the right this year. So it hasn't worked out yet. I did reduce my position a few days ago in my retirement account and in the trade account. I have like May and July call options, or May and August call options. So I did reduce that. And it's not going to turn around until either Robinhood turns around, crypto turns around, or earnings report. And at this point, you got to bet on the catalyst to be an earnings report. So we got to see how that earnings report comes in. And we don't have a date for that yet. This will be the first Q4 they report as a public company. They've reported 3 quarters so far. Did they? Hold on. No, maybe I'm wrong about that. Did they report a Q4 before Q1, Q2, Q3? No, I don't think they did. Is this? Come on.
I tell you, if we don't hold around 608, I think we could.
Maybe they did. April 25th. Maybe they did April 25th. So still have ways to go till we get that report. Sorry, what's that?
I'm looking at the chart now, just looking at technicals. If you don't hold around the 608 area, I think things could get pretty ugly there for the Qs. Head down a little more over the next coming days.
Yeah, but again, I don't know. It doesn't really concern me much. It's a sector. Why are drones and space getting demolished today? I wish I understood that, so I can identify a catalyst that can turn it around. So I got some research to do to understand that. But the keys going down, I have no problem with that. I think you need a correction. I think we're going to buy that pullback on MU soon. Not a big deal to me. This is not anything earth-shattering, nothing too important. Just a standard pullback. But yeah, I'm still deer in the headlights for drones and defense tech. Look at AVAV. Like, how the hell? I did not see this happening. I did not see AVAV collapsing and going below the 200 DMA today. That really, really surprising me here. Yeah, but now that I understand the catalyst behind Apple, I wish I knew it earlier, because then I might have traded that with Dougie this morning. It looks good here.
Yeah, I missed that. I should have been all over that this morning. Jay Rice is saying he disagrees with the valuations for Bud and Hole, expensive to IBKR and Schwab. Those two holding out much better.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. But you're looking at the valuation based on like a what, a PE? Yeah. Why don't you go look at a PEG and come back to me on that? Right. Hood and Bull have much higher growth rates than those more mature, larger peers. So, when you consider the growth rate, I don't know that that's analysis would still hold to be true. So I'd encourage you to go look at the growth rate, maybe look at a PEG ratio rather than a PE ratio, and then you might come to a different conclusion on that in terms of Hood and Bull.
Everyone keeps recirculating this. What Vance said earlier. Vance said the United States was proposing trading blocks of critical metals. Many countries had already signed on the plan. Then he also said something earlier. This is what I saw earlier. Vance says the U.S. will establish price floor systems for critical metals. They did sell off earlier. I don't know what they're doing now.
Whoa, did I? No, I don't remember if I'm still in AMPX or not. No, I'm currently not in it.
Orbital counts now on critical metals, CRML. Let's see what you saw.
Look at this, just a
really
bloodbath in all of these sectors.
Yeah,
I mean, this is more than just a correction in the Qs. I there's got to be a reason why these government-backed sectors are getting hit really hard today.
Someone's saying something with ICE. Hold on. Is that Homeland Security?
I mean, I don't know that that's going to impact any of the stocks, except Geo.
No. This person, Zach, is very true. They're saying your rants are pretty funny. He's saying it's okay, Ben. Patience.
My rants are funny. I mean, this is probably the first time you've seen me in 2 years. Probably the first time you've seen me like this on the Benzinga show, just kind of not knowing what's going on and kind of deer in the headlights. That doesn't happen to me often.
Someone's asking if we are trading the new Mag 7 0 DTE options.
There's a Mag 7 ETF.
Yeah, Tesla has like it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday now, and a few others.
Wow. No, it sounds like, is there one ticker for the Mag 7? That's kind of like the Qs anyway. Is that what he means?
Yeah, I mean, Qs are every day. There's these, but
that's basically the Mag 7 if you take the Qs 0 DTEs.
Yeah.
Look at MPX at this support line here now. 1285. Wow. This has been a brutal day for me. Micron, let's get ready to buy that at this 20.
Oh, duh. I was thinking it was a ticker. Department of Homeland Security is DHS.
Yeah, no, I figured that out after.
Main reason to put pressure on Trump to attack Iran. I'm just looking at all the comments.
Apps now.
Yeah, those calls are up crazy.
Which calls?
There's just saying Apple calls are up wild.
Oh,
yeah, they're up.
Yeah, and it's still strong. Apple still looks good.
It does.
Gave these targets this morning on the show. 277.84 and 280 were the targets I gave this morning. Oh, it broke 277.84, and of course I didn't play it. Pull back. Might want to re-challenge those levels, make a move towards 280, but I don't know. It's tough for me to play this. I feel like I'm a little late, and the Qs are going against you. So I don't think I'm going to play Apple. Just looking at it.
Definitely late to the holy. Look at this sell-off on Tesla right now.
Wow. I'm getting all kinds of alerts, low day alerts right now. I'm getting killed on apps I never. Oh, man. I got
back to 400. Almost 3%.
Whoa. QQQ nosedive right now. All right. MU, get ready to buy. Get ready to buy MU. Get ready to buy MU. 380.24. I mean, it's broken the 20 DMA before. Ooh, it has.
I don't know, Ben. This is looking like an ugly top.
Yeah, I mean, it's broken the 20 DMA before, so it's a little scary.
Yeah.
And then the next major support would be about 350 if this fails. Wow, how's Sandus doing?
Just down 12%.
Chart's not as clean as the Mu chart.
No. Wow, AMD just keeps going lower.
Oh, to make it to that support level I mentioned. Talking about AMD, right here.
You know, it's showing some relative strength right now. Could
200.
hit the target is UNG.
I'm still in it. I'm still in UNG. But it's just
Anyone check on Tom Lee today?
how's Ethereum doing? Down 5%.
Yeah, today's a bloodbath.
Let's check that BMNR out.
Real estate's up. Wolf down 14.
I'm still getting freaking alerts.
Hey, guess what's exploding again? I'm not in this. ZSL, the short silver play.
Oh, silver's crashing again?
I guess.
Just
I got an alert
wild,
for ZSL.
wild markets right now.
Tomley has been in the car. Yeah, he has been. He's in him and Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. They're in for a rude awakening there.
Dude,
I think Tomley's in bigger trouble though because of that whole what is that YouTuber, Mr. Beast, I think it is, investing in
oh yeah, he invested in Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I think he misguided investors on that one, so we'll see.
Why?
How that
What do you mean?
out.
What do you
Because
mean?
investors were thinking he was going to buy Ethereum, and he goes and Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast comes out saying he doesn't even have any coins. He's rich on paper.
That's the only way to invest in Mr. Beast, as far as I know, via that vehicle. Did I ever sell USAR? I don't think I did.
That is crazy.
What?
If SPR can't do it, he has no shot. Yeah.
I'm getting destroyed on you. I never sold USAR. Oh my gosh, I gotta start protecting more capital. I already protected a bunch of capital this morning, but I gotta sell more. I gotta preserve my capital. This is crazy.
Wow, Hims is taking the nosedive again.
Yeah, thankfully I'm not in that. I sold that very early. Okay, AVAV. This is craziness, man.
Yeah, this is a rough day.
Oh,
good
yeah.
day for my day trading account, but my retirement account is taking a beating today.
Well, you know what? That's amazing that your day trading account's up. Actually, my retirement account is down 7% right now. This is definitely the worst day of the year.
I'm up. Let me see.
By far, this is definitely the worst day of the year in my retirement account. Probably my trade account too.
I'm up a little over 3% today now.
Look at this. Oh wow, that was from Q puts.
Mainly from Q puts, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't jump on that. I wish I did.
Whoa.
Look at that. Wow. I am taking a beating today.
I think what I'm gonna do is rotate some of my day trading money and dump it in my retirement account.
I think I gotta preserve more capital. It looks like I gotta sell Grawl now also.
Looking very ugly.
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
I don't know if I'm gonna go shopping just yet.
Holy crap, I'm down big on Grawl. Oh, I bought a lot of Grawl this morning. Jeez Louise. Dude,
I ended up selling that for a loss, man.
I am definitely down. I am going to be down at least 7% in my trading count today.
Oh, wow, 101.
This is terrible. So now I'm still in.
How bad is Nvidia right now?
I took the
Hit
loss.
that target. Oh, it's almost 174.40. Almost hit it. The Qs are holding here. They're having a hard time getting back above this level.
This might be my worst day in 2 years or more.
Yeah, that's a big drawdown.
Now the only thing I'm still in is ONDS and apps. I took the loss on Grawl finally.
Yeah,
I didn't realize my position was so big in that. Jeez.
That's funny. Oh, that's great, Zach. Someone's saying Ben, this stream is gonna be TikTok titled "Trader on a Bad Trading Day."
Yeah,
It's gonna be okay. It'll reverse.
This is my worst trading day. Wow, good thing I sold RCAT. How the hell does RCAT go down after all that news this week? I don't get it. Wow, good thing I sold that. Damn. Redwire, I sold that. It's still going down. Dude,
Forge
this
Float,
is
you can buy shares.
crazy.
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
Yeah,
is
that's
there
not gonna
anything
end
that's
well.
up? Fubo's down another 7%. That was nasty yesterday. Wow, everything's down. Holy crap.
Yeah, the only thing somewhat holding up is Apple, but it's about to give up on the 5-minute, the 20 DMA.
Dude, I'm still in. These are the
Joe
two.
Schmoes
Give up
said
on these.
Micron is getting close to 380, but he's resisting.
He's not going to buy it.
I don't know. He said no, he's resisting.
Scary. It's scary. 20
It's hard.
DMA, 380, 20.
Especially this run up. I mean, going from 230 all the way till 455 and not big drawdowns.
I mean, my problem is I never sold ONDS or apps. Those are the two I've held all day.
No way. Let me check GME. I was still in. Oh, it's come back. Oh, GME is selling off. Yep, Q's going lower. See if we can find the bottom here on the Q's.
Oh my gosh.
Oh shit.
I cannot believe AVAV is down 10% today. Holy crap. Let's check out our 2026 list. All right, let's see how this is doing.
606.15.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
So these are my picks I put out on Christmas Day for 2026.
Yeah, buying opportunities
And
are coming out.
wow, look at this. Look at this, down 8% on the picks today. I don't change it. This is a static list. I'm not going to change it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For the year.
Still not bad. I mean, the only thing killing us is the AI software.
No, I know.
I mean, that's a bloodbath in that sector right now.
Yeah.
Someone's asking, what do we think? Is this sort of continued downtrend or a discounted day?
Let's look at the daily. Let's look at the daily chart for that. Let's see, macro. Let's see, daily chart on the spies. It looks like a spy is going to re-challenge the 50. I worry about a break below the 50, to be honest with you, because it bounced off the first time. If you retest it the second time, it very often fails, but that's always been buying opportunities on this spy. Let's see what the Qs look like. Q's a little bit uglier. Maybe you can make it to 600 right here. Because we broke below that support. Yeah, the Qs to me look like they're heading to 600, right? Yeah. I think the Qs are heading to 600. SPY could be breaking the 50 DMA, but again, that might be a good opportunity to buy. And last I checked, the IWM was the healthiest, and it still is. So I don't know, man. This to me, it's not a warning sign to like exit the market or anything. I'm still going to be engaged fully as I always am, and just looking for areas.
On days like this,
the market trend.
All you got to do is, guys, take your little mouse and zoom out. Just zoom out and see. Everything will play out just fine.
Wow, I can't believe this is happening so quickly. I had this morning when I bailed on AMPX, like $1 higher. I was like, I know everyone in the Discord loves to buy the dips, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I got to sell the dip because I got to protect my capital. Even though I know this is going to 16, it might first go to the support level of 1257. Wow, I said this like an hour ago when this thing was like 1370. That's crazy. So I could first go to 1257. So I keeping all my long-term shares because it's going to 16. But in the short-term account, I didn't want to risk a further drawdown to 1257. I didn't think that was happening today. I thought like maybe over the next couple of days it can go to 1257, and like an hour later it's already there. This is crazy. You do have other support levels. That's not the finals, or like 1220, I think. 1257 then 1220 would be the AMPX support levels, I think. That 20 DMA, I'm hoping it would go up to meet it rather than this coming down to the 20, although that didn't really happen with Mew today. Look at Mew right off 30. Oh, holy to the penny. 380.30 is a 20 DMA on Mew, and it already bounced $4 off of that level, right?
I'm hesitant. I'm very hesitant, but this does look like a great opportunity to buy.
Look at that.
Long term, look. Long term, if you buy, is fine.
Bounced $4 off of the 20 DMA right there, and it closed. The
Got a
candle
short.
closed. We have a closed candle now above that 20 period moving average on the 1 minute chart. I didn't do it. We said we were supposed to do it. Didn't we just say we're going to buy Mu at 380?
Yeah.
Why don't we do it? $4
look
move
at
right there in
the-
one candle.
Trade options.
Oh man, we suck today. Look at this. $5 move. Weren't we supposed to buy this at 380, Rhett? Well, hopefully one of our listeners here on Benzinga did that.
All right, I just picked up 2 contracts of MU calls.
Now you're supposed to do that 380.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. I'm just to monitor it. I mean, these things are expensive.
380 weeklies. They're $15. You got the 380 calls?
No, I picked up 400s.
Oh, the 400s. They're 6-ish. They went to 475 at that dip. Probably can get them at 5. Be up 20% off that low.
Yeah, we'll see.
Small
size, super small size.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's a tough day to do
I
that.
just don't want to get back profits.
It's a tough day to follow through on any any plans. Tough day. This is crazy. A nice relative strength in SMCI.
GME bouncing off the 20 there after the RSI coming back down. That may be an op right here.
Wow.
Chart looks great. I mean, look at that bounce.
Wow,
3
okay.
bounces off the 200-day moving average.
Right over here.
For GME today.
Yeah, it did look good, but I just can't believe all these drone stocks are down 12% today. What's this? Let's see. Let's organize this by change percent. UMAC 14%. Forget it. I don't care about this. That's a warrant. Okay. UMAC 14%, Ondis 13%, AMPX 12.5%, KTOS 12, 11, 10. Oh my gosh. Even Palantir down 11%. Oh, what a bloodbath.
Palantir got destroyed.
Bloodbath.
MU's starting to work. I mean, such small profits though.
I mean, perfect bounce off the 20. Watch this thing hit 400 by tomorrow. Oh man,
Great.
why the hell didn't we follow through on this?
I'm in now. I'm up a little over 3% right now.
All right, good for you. Why didn't I do it? Oh my gosh. I didn't do it. Damn it. Look at this. This is just I'm just steering the headlights today, man.
Not coming back though and held.
Yeah, I'm holding Snap calls into the earnings report. I think I have the 6. Let me see which ones I have. I have 650 next Friday. 650 next Friday, the 37 cents.
Someone's asking.
Sixes are.
Someone's asking about where was that? Kodak. There it is.
Oh, I actually
Oh shit, now I'm losing them.
oh my gosh, ONDS is down 14%. I actually kept some Kodak in my trade
I'm
account.
having a hard time though, guys, getting over that 20.
Yeah.
It keeps
Oh wow, it's
rejecting.
some relative strength on Kodak there. Yeah, Kodak had some really, really good news the other day, and I thought it was going to go up 20% that day or the next day, and it didn't. It's held up though, and it's you can see that relative outperformance since the news. The news came out on January 26th, the big pharma expansion. I mean, this is the news everyone's been waiting for, and they finally had some significant news on that. And yeah, relative strength. I'm still in it. But I don't know when it's gonna break out. They need to make their media.
Another interesting move right now is EMPH right now. Pulled back, but it's just chilling out there.
Which one?
EMPH.
Oh, Enphase. Yeah,
Energy.
that had a great. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
shit.
the winner of the day.
MU just went back down.
Yeah, Enphase was the winner of the day. Look at that. Missed that one.
It's down $100 on that.
AMPX so far to the penny, 12.57. Yeah, I think I put this in the Discord this morning, or no, it's probably on live stream when I said this can pull back to 1257. Now do we buy it at 1257, or is it going to go to 1220, 12 to 1220? Wow. You know what? Maybe the thing to do is pick up some call options that are sometime out. I think I'm gonna start doing that. All right, I've been a deer in the headlights for the last 2 hours. I'm gonna finally do something here. Let's see if I can get some AMPX call options, maybe past earnings. Let's go March
I guess you're
20th.
glad you didn't pick up the MU right there. Guess we're gonna head lower, down 10%.
Maybe it looks like it's gonna retest the 380. Wow, that's ugly.
ASTS back down 100.
That is ugly.
141 is the low for the day.
1260, 12, 14. You know what? I'm not. These call options are still too expensive on AMPX. I'm gonna wait. Even if I don't catch a bottom, I'd rather buy it on a pop when the market gets better. Or we get a catalyst.
Oh, and the Qs are going. They're about to hit another low a day here.
Wow, brutal,
Jeez.
brutal. I can't believe AVAV is down.
Thinking about to
10%.
close out these calls. New
There
low
you
day
go.
Qs. Yeah,
There you go.
606.15 is your next support.
I guess I should have when I said 600. 600 is the target on the Qs. I'm
Yeah,
not.
we should have shorted on that pop.
Yeah, I'm not in puts. But there you go. 600 is the target. Jeez. Oh my gosh. I'm getting destroyed.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out the calls. I don't want to stay around for this.
This is nasty, man.
Not a big loss.
I mean, I didn't sell everything this morning. I guess I should have. I kept ONDS and apps, and that's costing me.
It looks like Nvidia is right now near a support level as well, right here.
Yeah, let's check
Interesting
that
to
out.
see what that's gonna do. You see this?
Oh, this looks exactly like the Qs.
Yep, same thing.
I don't even think you need to look at Nvidia. Just look at the Qs, and it's the same exact thing. Almost, very similar.
What time is it? 11:20.
Yeah, dude, this is brutal. Hopefully we'll get like a huge beat on Berna tomorrow morning, and then we can pile into that to make up for some of these losses. Need some individual alpha on a big ER winner or something. This is brutal. What's the options activity look like here today on this? Not much going on.
Yeah, that is true, Zach. Institutions are laughing at all of us today.
They knew. I mean, I saw that pre-market action. I'm like, something does not make sense. I was going on for a while. That should have been a
low day.
That should have been a warning to just bail today. ONDS keeps going lower, and I'm still in it, down 15%, broke the 50 DMA. I mean, when am I going to finally cut this and preserve my capital? I have not done it yet.
Wow, AMD coming up almost down 16% today.
That is crazy, and I have AMD in retirement too.
VTIX, wow, that's taking it off the
Oh,
chain.
this is the same chart. This is also the same chart as the Qs. They're all the same chart, and they're all going. AMD's going to 200, Qs are going to 600. Nvidia's going to 170, maybe 171. So we still have more to go. And why am I not shorting? I don't know.
Someone's playing the Google ER. They're buying the 415 call. Well, they bought the 415 calls. I don't know. I like to react. Some common shares, play it after hours if it's good.
That's usually what I do with earnings, but once in a while I take a bet like I am with Berna and a little bit with Snap. This is a good setup going into earnings though, usually. because there, especially if Google's down into this. It's not down that much
You can
though.
pull it up too. It's
What?
good. I said it can pull it up too if it's good.
Pull up the market.
Yeah.
No. I can't believe ONDS has just been a nightmare today.
What caught me off today was Katos.
Should I try AMPX now off of that 1257 support? All right, I'm gonna try this. Is gonna be my third attempt of trying to find the bottom in AMPX today. If we break below 1256, I'm gonna get stopped out.
Netflix getting volumes on soon.
All right, I'm in it again. I'm in AMPX again. Yeah, below 1256, or maybe I make it 1250. I think I'll get out again.
Full 660, yeah.
This is just brutal. Apps is trying to come back. Mew's looking good now. Can get above this red line here.
I got out of those.
Yeah, look at that perfect bounce off the 20. Oh, that's beautiful. We should have bought that 20 DMA bounce, right? I talked about it all morning. I talked about it all morning that we're buying Mew at 380, and then I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now. A little bit late, but now that we're breaking this red line,
I think you can make a
and if you look at the daily chart, yeah, this can maybe head back to 398, 393.
393 is first, but yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, no, I'd say 398, 399. Should have bought it at 380 and stick to the plan.
Views are holding up here at this level, surprisingly back above it.
Look at Apple. Looks good. So I went
How much
shopping
are
a little bit.
the shares for the Beast Company, the Beast Industries?
I don't know. I mean, it's worth. I think it's worth multi-billion.
Yeah, I think.
Why? But that's not.
Sam just doubled down on SanDisk calls from our community. SNDK.
Oh, okay. That's moving with Mew. So yeah, I'm on the same page. I just got the common shares of Mew though here. I didn't buy calls.
Ooh, SanDisk looks good. Trying to get over that.
Yeah, I think maybe the bottom's in for a while, guys. I just went shopping on Mew and AMPX. Look at UNG still going. ONDS may be turning. Okay, bottom might be here for the day. I hope it's for the day, man. SanDisk calls. I like the Mew chart better than SanDisk, to be honest with you. It's always the cleaner chart today.
Yeah, MU.
Dude, we didn't stick to that plan. We should have stuck to that plan. 380. Damn it. Stupid. It's so hard to stick to the plan when you get that intraday volatility.
Yeah, especially when you're getting destroyed on the day. It's not.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm down so much, and I didn't feel like taking more risk. But now I took the more risk at 386 instead of 380. So go figure. Yeah, I got filled at 386, 386.40. Just at common shares.
Yeah, Jade Rice is with Walmart and all that other staples.
Walmart's doing good. Flight to safety.
Yeah, look at that. The past couple of days, flight to safety.
Yeah,
smart money knew what they were doing.
Let's see if that's happening with bonds. No flight to safety with bonds. Flight to safety is in Walmart. Wow, that's crazy. Look at this Walmart chart. $1 trillion. Forward PE of 44 for retail. I don't know, man.
Wow, look at the daily chart on Coke as well. I haven't looked at Coke in a while.
Apple's still looking really good. Let me see where I am with these UNG calls.
It's not looking bad.
UNG. You already sold half for like a nice gain. You know what? I'm gonna keep the other half. I think this can see 14 tomorrow, 14 plus.
Bush hit new all-time highs today.
Which one? What?
Bush, BUD, Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, Anheuser-Busch. Oh, that's Budweiser. They used to be Bud, and the other Anheuser-Busch is Bud. Oh, interesting. Wow, look at that. That's seeing some rotation here into Walmart and beer.
Yeah, we should have noticed that the other day. Someone actually did. I think someone was trading that the other day. Hold on, let me see. Let me see WMT. Someone mentioned that. Oh yeah, someone Trader Joe was buying Walmart calls
Oh wow, good for him.
back on 2-2. Hold on, let me see the chart then. I wonder if he's still holding them.
Whew. Tough day, man. Let's see if AMPX may have bottomed here.
What time is it? Oh, it's wrap it up. It's 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You have any final thoughts, Ben?
Shit happens. Protect your capital. That's the number one game. Number one rule: preserve your capital when shit happens. I don't know. I'm not a big believer in buying the dip. It might work many times in a row, and then eventually you'll lose everything. So that's my philosophy. I don't know. Like last year, I was up 667% for the year, and you guys in the Discord were out schooling me. I mean, lots of people were up thousands of percent in the Discord last year because they kept buying the dip and I kept selling the dip. And I still think that's the right thing to do. To each their own. Keep buying that dip, I guess, if that's what you want to do. But eventually the shit's going to hit the fan and you're going to be so accustomed to winning on buying the dip that you're going to lose everything. That's my opinion.
Buying a dip is not a strategy.
I don't believe in buying the dip, guys. I just don't. You got to preserve your capital. And if a trade doesn't work for you right away, I bail. That's how I do it. But again, in a good market where buy the dip works, you can be up thousands of percent, especially in a year, especially if you're doing call options. But to me, the number one advice I can give anyone is always preserve your capital. And that way you're always in the game. And then when things get easy and it's up and to the right, you make your big money. And then when there's big drawdowns, you don't have big drawdowns because you protected your capital and you're always in the game for the times when the easy money is made. And that's how you get 667% last year. And I was up 32% before today. I don't know. Now it might be 20%. I'm not even gonna look. But yeah, that's how you can still get big gains, even if you are selling the dips. You know, preserve your capital and wait for those layups. That's my advice to everybody. I just think it's foolish to constantly buy the dip. But a lot of people though, a lot of people prove me wrong on that every single day. You know, the buy the dip crowd. But I think they're gonna get. I think a lot of those people will get wiped out literally to zero. Like I think 90% of the people who have huge wins because they bought the dip, I think eventually 90% of them will get completely kicked out of the market. That's my belief. That's why I always tell people that number one rule is preserve your capital rather than buy the dip. That's my final word for everyone watching here on Benzinga.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I don't know if we have to do anything on our end, but
are they there anymore? Benzinga disappeared. I guess we're gonna be live forever from now on. Just ending today. All right. So I guess Benzinga will say goodbye. I mean, we'll hit the button. All right. We'll see you later, guys.
Take care, guys.